Perhaps the most popular and one of the easiest ways to get to Yankee Stadium is to take the subway. But earlier this afternoon, by taxicab, it was John Rocker back on the scene, hoping he gets a chance to pitch for the Indians in Game 2 against the New York Yankees. We welcome all of you inside Yankee Stadium tonight. I'm John Sanders, along with Rick Manning. It is Game 2 of this series. The Yankees winning last night in dramatic fashion by a final of 8-7. The Indians trying to get it going tonight, and Charles Nagy, what a good spot for him to pitch the way he did here before.
Well, they're going to try and get him right back on track. For Charlie Nagy, his first start of the year came back on June 3rd at Yankee Stadium, and there was the strikeout pitch. That's what he's going to have to do to the Yankee hitters, is use that fastball on the inside part of the plate to set up everything else. And Charlie, you know, in his first start, he did go 7 in the third innings. That one earned run he gave up was a solo home run, 4 hits and a strikeout. It would be nice to see him come back and do that again.
And this is not a lefty starting for the Yankees tonight, but a different looking lineup with Ellis Burks hitting too. Of course, he hits no matter where you put him, right?
He certainly did last week. The American League Player of the Week is Ellis Burks. And remember, he got off to a great start. He hit 3 home runs in a game back home. He continued it, hit 1 the next night. Ellis Burks has a long ball going, 20 home runs, and what a week he had. He certainly deserved to be the American League Player of the Week. His batting average, just a mere .435. He had 6 home runs. You can tell a lot of solo home runs. He had 7 RBIs and a .1261 slugging percentage.
Well, the Yankees won last night, so the Indians must win tonight to even up this series. Here's today's Toyota Key to Victory, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Tribe take 2. Let's see if we can see the same thing. Another setback for Charles Nagy to come out here and beat the Yankees.
It is Game 2 of the series, and Charles Nagy gets the call. Grew up a Yankee fan. He's going to try to beat him tonight. Always a lot of emotion when the Indians and the Yankees get together, whether it's in Jacobs Field or like tonight in Yankee Stadium. Settle back and enjoy the Indians and the Yankees. Game 2 of the series is next on Fox Sports Net. You need for your next home decorating project. Buy Toyota and your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Buy Ohio Lottery. Your luck could change in an instant. Play an Ohio Lottery instant game today. Buy your Northern Ohio Lexus dealers. And by Safe Auto. Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. We keep you legal for less. Organist Eddie Layton with the national anthem. The umpires have accepted the cards. The Yankees are on the field, set to take on the Indians in Game 2 of this series. Their starting pitcher, Adrian Hernandez, heads to the center of the diamond. Let's set Charlie Manuel's starting lineup for Game 2 of this series, and it is a bit of a different look. But leading off for the second straight night is Omar Vizquel at short. Ellis Burks will be the DH. Berto Alomar at second base tonight. Hitting cleanup in right field is Juan Gonzalez. Jim Thome will play first base for the Indians, hitting .450 against the Yankees, 3 homers this year. Travis Fryman at third. Kenny Lofton is batting 7th in center field, followed by Russell Brandon in left, and Einar Diaz bats 9th. He's the catcher.
Adrian Hernandez on the mound for the Yankees. He has a fastball, slider, curve, and a changeup, and he will throw from different arm angles. He's an El Duque clone. His nickname is El Duquecito, is what they call him here in New York. He is the 3rd rookie in the rotation now for manager Joe Torre, as far as Lilly. And the gentleman that started last night, Keisler. So he's coming out. It's only his 2nd start this year. This is his 3rd appearance. His other start coming against Detroit. He has a .235 ERA, but he is 0-1 on the season. Let's set the Yankees defense for you around the horn, which is rated 9th in the American League. At first base, it's Tino Martinez. At second, Alfonso Soriano. Over at third is Scott Brocious. And birthday boy Derek Jeter is at short. In left field, it's Shane Spencer. Over at center, it's Bernie Williams. In right field, Paul O'Neill. Behind the plate, it is Jorge Posada, who was at first base last night.
It has been a beautiful day in New York City. Let's take a look at our game time forecast from Fox 8 News. 86 degrees. The wind right to left at about 10 miles an hour. Dick Goddard at Fox 8 News, the weather authority for all of Northeast Ohio.
And the umpires for tonight's game calling balls and strikes. It'll be Jeff Nelson, Mike Fichter at first, crew chief Joe Brinkman at second, and Darrell Cousins down at third. I think our first time we've seen Joe Brinkman all year, isn't it?
I think it is.
You can see his season record. He is 0-1, a fine .235 earned run average. As I said, it's just his second start, but opposition hitting just .214, and different arm angles and different kinds of pitches. He'll cut the fastball, and when you see him in his hat, he looks like Orlando Hernandez, really.
And Orlando is on the DL along with Andy Pettitte. That's the reason that the Yankees, who have been searching for a fifth starter all year, have had to use the rookies. Number 65, Adrian Hernandez, 6'1", 185, 26 years old, from Havana, Cuba. He'll face Omar Vizquel, Ellis Burks, and Roberto Alomar. First from you, Rick, a comment on this lineup that Charlie put out there tonight.
Well, he's trying to get something going at the top, obviously, because Kenny Lofton has not been doing his job in the leadoff spot. So he's going to continue to keep Omar there and push Burks up in hopes that Omar can get some better pitches.
Well, the game is underway. Vizquel opened up last night's ball game with a base hit on the first pitch. The Indians fell behind before they rallied with 7 runs in the 6th inning, but wound up losing the game 8-7 on a 2-run home run by Tino Martinez. The count is 1-1. And that pitch is outside. Hernandez just signed with the Yankees a year ago. It was June the 2nd of 2000 that he signed. He left Cuba in January of 2000. Vizquel pops it up, third base side, and out of play is Brocious, and Jeter over to take a look.
But that's the pitch that's going to be key for him. He's got to spot that little sinking fastball that he has. He's not overpowering. He throws it anywhere from 88 to 90 miles per hour. He's got to spot that pitch and go to work with his other off-speed pitches.
He left Cuba. He went to Costa Rica, then Guatemala. He worked out for 20 teams before he signed with the Yankees. The $4 million 4-year contract. Pitch to Omar is slapped into left field, base hit. That's what Vizquel did last night. The Indians did not score in the first inning, and Omar gets a base hit tonight.
Well, Omar stays on the backdoor breaking ball. He tries to come in and gets Vizquel to give up on this pitch. It's a breaking ball coming back over, and that's all you could do with the pitch, and Omar takes the base hit. You look at the pitch grouping. Everything was away to Vizquel. And he ended up going that way. And our friends at Oral Health America National Spit Tobacco Education Program would like to remind you that smokeless does not mean harmless.
Ellis Burks, the player of the week in the American League, steps in. Ellis hitting .304 on the year, but only .248 away from Jacobs Field. And he pops this one high in the air to right field. O'Neill toward the line. Plenty of room, 1 pitch and 1 out as far as Ellis Burks is concerned. Check the storylines that we'll be following tonight. Charles Nagy returns to New York. Of course, he grew up in Connecticut and was always a Yankee fan, and he pitched here very well in his first start. Battle of the bullpens, and will we see John Rocker? Well, yes, if we get in the right situation, obviously. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, the Indians bullpen did a nice job last night outside of 1 pitch.
That's right. And that was costly. A 2-run home run that gave the Yankees the win. So New York is 4-3 against the Indians this year. Robbie Alomar had 2 hits last night. And he sits safely in 5 straight. Vizquel draws some attention. Ted Eulander coaching at first and Joel Skinner over at third. The Indians just 1 more game tomorrow afternoon right here on Fox Sports Net to wind up this 6-game road trip. And then they go home, Rick, for a nice homestand leading up to the All-Star break.
That's right, one of the longest ones of the year.
And one sinks outside. 1 ball, no strikes. We are just underway tonight. Robbie continues to be a good hitter on the road. Look at the rankings for him in average. Second, first with that .407 batting average on the road. 12 for his last 21. That one sails outside. A lot of movement on his pitches, and if he's not related to Orlando Hernandez, he's copied him pretty well.
He certainly has. I mean, the windup, the high leg kick, the way he wears his uniform, the way he wears his hat. Who knows? It might be his son, El Duquecito.
Since no one really knows how old El Duque is. Vizquel is running. The pitch is low, and the throw from Posada is right there in time.
Well, it looked like Omar had a pretty good jump off Hernandez at first base. But Posada comes up and throws the strike, and they're able to get him. That's a good jump. Posada gets rid of it quickly to Jeter. You can see right there as they come down and get the hand.
That was close.
Well, right before he touches the base.
In the meantime, Alomar draws the walk. So it's a runner at first, but now 2 outs as Gonzalez comes in. Juan had a big hit to drive in 2 runs last night. Last year, Hernandez pitched at Norwich, Columbus, and Tampa as he worked his way up the Yankees minor league ladder in a hurry. And pressed into service this year with all the injuries New York has had to their pitching staff.
Well, he pitched one time against their AAA club at Buffalo. Got a no decision. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, and 4 runs. I'm sure they went down there to get a little scouting report.
He's given up a hit and walked a batter. It's Alomar at first, 2 outs as Gonzalez stands in. Taking downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. RBI leaders, you see Boone, who's having a tremendous season, and it's Manny Ramirez and Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah, the one you would figure who does not belong in those 3. It would be Brett Boone, who's leading the league.
And this time there's no throw as Alomar steals the base. That's number 12 for Roberto Alomar.
Well, they already have a read on him with the high leg kick. Robbie does not even draw a throw. Gets his 12th stolen base, and you can see the jump. It's a breaking ball, and Posada says, I'm not even going to try to throw him out. Vizquel had a good jump as well, but Posada making a nice throw.
The count, meantime, is 2 balls, no strikes, and the Indians get a runner in scoring position in the first inning. They had one in the first inning last night, did not score as Gonzalez fouls it straight back. Count is 2-1. Yankee Stadium in New York, and the Yankees, this is game 2 of a 7-game homestand. Tampa Bay will come in next. Certainly one of the advantages that Boston and the Yankees have this year, Rick, is the number of times that they will play Tampa Bay.
Well, Boston 10-0 against them this year.
And a few more to go. That breaking ball is inside, and the count is 3-1. Let's take a look at the standings in the Eastern Division. The battle between Boston and the Yankees continued. The Yankees' record is much better this year than it was after 74 games last year, and they're down by 2.
Well,
to the Red Sox.
Plus, you got to figure Garcia Parra has not even played a game with the Red Sox yet. And so far, the Indians have done well against the East. They're 13-6.
Swing and a miss. Get that one in a good spot. Full count, 3-2. Jim Thome on deck for the try. The Indians in series this year are 17-6-1. The Yankees are 14-10-1. But this Yankee pitching staff does lead the American League in strikeouts. 616 as a staff.
Well, it makes it a little bit tougher for them to win ball games when you have 3 rookies in that rotation, when this team is basically built by their starting rotation. Clemens holding the fort together. Pettit was pitching very well before he has a groin pull and went on the disabled list. We're going to see a tough guy tomorrow in Mike Mussina. He's only 500, but he's been tough during day games.
3-2 the count. Payoff pitch coming up to Gonzalez. And he struck him out with a high fastball. The Indians strand a runner in scoring position. We'll set the Yankee lineup when we come back. Joe Torre has his lineup set to go against Charles Nagy tonight. Let's check it out. Chuck Knobloch leads off. He's DHing tonight. Derek Jeter at shortstop. good numbers against Charlie Nagy. He's 27 today. Then it's Bernie Williams in center. Tino Martinez at first. Jorge Posada catching. Paul O'Neill in right. Shane Spencer in left. Scott Brocious in third. And Alfonso Soriano at second base.
Charles Nagy making his fourth start, and you can see the fastball, slider, changeup, and a splitter. He's got to keep an eye on the base runners. The Yankees lead the league in stolen bases. They've been running a lot. That's part of the game. And make the adjustment the second time around the lineup. Charlie's been able to get through the first 3 innings, and he's usually had that one bad inning in either 4, 5, or 6.
Chuck Knobloch 1 for 5 with an RBI last night. And the Yankees struck in their big inning against Chuck Finley. There were 2 outs, and they put together 7 straight hits. The first pitch is ball 1. Knobloch has been slowed a little bit by a sore toe. They say there's no problem, but it has bothered him somewhat. Hitting .257 on the year, and he lifts it high to right field. Juan Gonzalez didn't have to move very far to take care of out number 1.
Well, let's take a look at our Lake Business Products defensive lineup. Get late, get connected. At first base, it's Jim Thome. Second baseman is Robbie Alomar. Travis Fryman is at third. The shortstop, Omar Vizquel. In the outfield, it's Russell Brandon in left. Kenny Lofton in center. Juan Gonzalez in right. Behind the dish is Einar Diaz.
Charles, now 34 years old, from Fairfield, Connecticut, grew up a Yankee fan, and he says that when he comes to New York, there's always plenty of people who come down to see him play.
And why not? How many opportunities do you get to come down to Yankee Stadium and watch your son or friend or brother pitch?
Swings at the first pitch and dumps a base hit in front of Gonzalez. Yankees have their first base runner. That brings up Bernie Williams.
That's a pitch out over the plate, and Jeter just goes with it. Takes what he's going to give you. He goes that way as well as anybody. Stays back, actually thinks the other way. That's why he's tough to strike out. Gets the Yankees' first hit.
Brings up Bernie Williams, who was the American League co-player of the week a couple of weeks back. And he's been on a roll. Yes. Williams has reached base 30 straight games.
Between he and Posada, who have been carrying the load really for Joe Torre in this lineup.
Tino Martinez and O'Neill, who were not in the lineup last night, are back in there tonight. As Rick mentioned, they did move Posada to first base with the left-hander Finley going. Williams 2 hits last night, and the first pitch is low and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, no score. We are in the bottom half of the first inning from Yankee Stadium. Jeter at first. He's got 13 steals, and that is in ball 2. Take a look at our Lowe's home improvement of the day. Lowe's improving home improvement, and it's the improvement this month from April and May for the guy at the heart of the Yankee order, Bernie Williams.
Had to miss some time. His dad passed away and had to go back to Puerto Rico a couple of times. So he's back on track, getting it clicking right now.
2 balls, no strikes to count. Williams hits it hard and through the right side. A sharp single, back-to-back base hits with 1 out for New York, and the Yankees have their first threat. That'll bring up Tino Martinez, who hit the game-winning home run off the bench last night for the Yankees. So that's 31 straight games in which he has reached base safely.
His career high is 32.
Tino Martinez, a .249 average. The home run last night, his 10th. And he has been struggling. Just 5 for his last 35.
That's why Joe Torre gave the left-handers the night off last night. Against the left-hander, tried to get all right-handed bats in the lineup, and it was a strange lineup for the Yankees.
Nagy drops the breaking ball in there for strike 1. The Indians, of course, defensively will look for a double play to end this threat.
You know, there is one better streak in the American League than Williams right now. It's Darren Erstad.
It doesn't surprise me.
I know, who is at 33. But he got off to a slow start this year as well.
Strike 2 is called. Tino looks back at Jeff Nelson. There's a Jeff Nelson who did some good work for the Yankees and is now back in Seattle.
There's a side view. Tino probably thinking that pitch was up there across the above the belt.
Charlie did not pitch against the Yankees last year. He is 10-8 against New York in his career. You can see Diaz moving inside, and the pitch is right there for a called strike 3. And Charlie spotted that one very well.
Well, that's a pitch that really can make Charlie successful with the veteran hitters, because they know when they get a couple of strikes on them that they don't look for the fastball, and if they do, they don't look for it on the inside part of the plate. See, Tino was looking for something off speed, something away, and Charlie doubled up to go back in there and gets the called strikeout. Excellent pitch. That one was down a little lower than the second pitch, 85 miles per hour, and he cannot pull the trigger.
Well, one of the problems for the Indians in this month of June has been their defense.
Yes, they have played poorly.
They've gone from 1st to 10th.
Well, 29 errors in their last 28 games. And when you look at the team overall, their record is 19-20 when they make an error, and 25-9 when they don't. And you got to look at last year when they had 72 errors. They set the American League record all last year. They're only 21 away from that right now.
Posada takes high. 2 balls, no strikes. Posada 1 for 3 last night. Average-wise, he is a better hitter from the right side. He's having a terrific month of June. .20 pitch, low and inside ball 3. On deck, it's Paul O'Neill, who did not play last night. Always wears his emotions on his sleeve, doesn't he?
Well, it seems like he does. He used to do it a lot more so, I think, than he might be mellowing with age.
3 balls, no strikes. Swing and a miss. He had the green light. Charlie kept the 84-mile-an-hour pitch down and gets strike 1.
Well, any day now, it seems like all the hitters have a 3-0 swing, especially when there's runners in scoring position. Of course, Posada having a good year. You're going to let him go ahead and swing the bat if he likes the pitch.
Strike 2 at the knees. Indians played well here last year, winning 3 out of 4 in the Bronx. They opened that brand new minor league stadium in Brooklyn yesterday to a sellout crowd. Seats about 6,500. It's a Class A team of the Mets. They built the stadium out there, and they say it's a terrific ballpark. There's a base hit into right center field. The runners were on the move. Jeter will score. Williams to third. 1-0 New York. So Posada continues. That's 58 RBI for him.
Well, he went 3-0 fastball, 3-1 fastball. Now he goes with the 3-2 curveball, or his breaking ball that he left up to Posada, and he finds the hole past Alomar. He was going to play him to pull. Yankees 2-out hitting. They did that last night in their 5-run inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, 7 straight in that
7
situation.
straight hits, you're right. So they get on the board and take an early lead.
New York built a 6-0 lead last night, and the Indians came back to score 7. But wound up losing. Here's O'Neill. Paul 3 for his last 15 for the Yankees. Ball 1 is downstairs.
It's the first time in Charlie's 4 starts that he's given up a run in the first 3 innings.
Well, when he pitched here against the Yankees on June 3rd, the only run he allowed was the home run by Jeter. Gave up just 4 hits. He's given up 3 hits in the first inning tonight. That's up the middle, a base hit, 2-0 New York. Posada will stop at second. Second consecutive 2-out base hit by the Yankees. They're 4th in the inning. And for O'Neill, his 38th RBI.
You can see their approach a little bit different. The left-handers are not trying to pull anything. They're just trying to stay on the baseball and hit it back where it's pitched. O'Neill does just that, gets the ball under the glove of Nagy. So it's 4 hits in the first and 2 runs for the Yankees, still with 2 outs.
Shane Spencer, who had a couple of hits in the ball game last night, drove in 2. Will bat with 2 on, still 2 outs. Charles Nagy has not been able to get the final out after getting the strikeout of Tino Martinez. Struck him out on 3 pitches for the second out. But Posada and O'Neill with 2 out base hits. Spencer looks at a breaking ball that drops in for a strike. Spencer battling back from the knee injury that he had last year in July when they were playing the Mets. His name has been mentioned in trade rumors. And there's a breaking ball, bounce to third. Fryman will step on the bag and end the inning, but the Yankees put together 4 hits and scored 2 runs. So New York takes a first inning lead. The Indians come back with Thome, Fryman, and Lofton after this. Well, the Indians will play from behind. Both of these teams have come from behind to win 22 times this year. The big difference is the Yankees have been involved, Rick, in an awful lot of 1-run games. They're 16 and 12. That's 28 1-run games that they've played this season, including last night. See Jim with 1 homer every 11 and a half at bats. Thome 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. It's ball 1 to him. The Indians all-time leading home run hitter right off the end of the bat, rolls it to Jeter. Jim by a step is out number 1.
Well, if you're looking for tickets out at Jacobs Field, there are still plenty of tickets available throughout the course of the year, although they will be tough to find on the next homestand. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Call 1-888-70-TRIBE or at the Jacobs Field box office or the Indians team shops.
Well, the one game in which there are tickets available is that July 2nd game against Kansas City. So you might take a look at that one. There are some tickets remaining for that game. Here's Travis Fryman, 1 for 5 last night. The Indians down 2. Travis hitting .314. First pitch is up high for ball 1. CC Sabathia and Mike Mussina will go tomorrow afternoon.
Supposed to be a hot one here in the Big Apple.
Hottest day of the year expected. It's bounced foul down the third base line.
Since '99, I think.
Well, we'll see.
Yes, we will. I don't know if they got into the 90s last year. I know back in Cleveland we certainly did not.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. You see him change that arm angle. He dropped down a little bit, kind of slinging that one up there and missing low. 2-1 the count. We'll be on the air with Tribe Time at 12:30 and the play-by-play at 1. Outside ball 3. Hernandez has walked 1 and given up 1 hit. The Indians did have a runner in scoring position in the first, but Gonzalez struck out with Alomar at second. 3-1 pitch is way outside ball 4. Second walk. Let's take a look at tonight's Mercedes moment. June 26, 1916. Numbers on their sleeves. First time players are identified by numbers corresponding to those on the scorecard. Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com.
What was your number that year? On your sleeve, huh?
I guess I've forgotten. It's been too long ago.
Oh, you've got your uniform framed. I know that.
I'm trying to remember what number I did wear when I played. But I was so bad I didn't care.
That's right. I didn't think they'd give the bad boys numbers.
Get out of here. At least you're listening tonight. I like that. 2-0 the count. Well, it is said that if you combine all of the pitches of El Ducacito, he has 7 different pitches. Now you could remember to throw all those. Lofton chops it foul.
I think when they say he has 7, what he does, he changes speeds with probably 3 different pitches. You know, he may sink his fastball one way. That'll be a different fastball, a 4-seamer. And he also tries to cut a fastball into left-handers. So that'll be 3 different pitches right there. And then when you get different arm angles on your slider or your breaking ball like we've seen to this point, people consider that maybe 6 or 7 different pitches, but it actually is probably 3, 4 at the most.
Keeping an eye on Fryman at first.
A lot like Orlando Hernandez.
Right.
He does that. Louis Tiant used to do that with a number of pitches, and a lot of times it's tougher on the right-handers because they're seeing the different arm angles, and the left-handers usually like it. But to this point, he's been very successful against the lefties.
More successful than the righties, right?
Yes, but it's only early. It's just early. Just 8 2/3 innings.
Outside for ball 3, 3-1. Coming into the game, he had walked 4 batters in 7 2/3 innings, and of the 6 hits he had given up, 2 had been home runs.
So he's going to run into problems if he keeps falling behind the hitters. They've yet to face him, so they don't know what he likes to throw in situations.
But based on what you've seen, if you're a hitter, you're going to make him get in the strike zone.
I would make him get in the strike zone, and they can be a lot more selective if he, if he's behind the count. They don't have to swing at the pitches that are close.
Lofton pops up the 3-1 pitch. Scott Brocious at third for the second out. So Kenny is retired, and it'll be up to Russell Branyan to keep the inning going.
It's almost like a count you don't want Kenny in, because you get into that situation, you want to try and pull the baseball. You almost he should go up there maybe thinking 2 strikes and trying to put the ball in play.
That's what he did last night. He doubled down the left field line. Russell Branyan did not play last night. His only hit in Kansas City the first part of this road trip was a home run. 2 outs, runner at first is Fryman, who walked. Top half of the second inning. Outside for ball 1. With a curveball or slider.
Well, you're going to see that he's not overpowering with that fastball. So as a hitter, you're going to try and stay back to stay on his off-speed pitches and maybe look the other way that first time around. They're just going to try and focus in on his arm angle and just the kind of stuff he has.
Branyan pops it foul, and the count evens out at 1-1. Gonzalez, his middle finger being attended to by assistant trainer Jimmy Warfield.
Jimmy will stay there all inning and doctor it up. Look, let me get another piece of tape on there. He's just getting a manicure.
Branyan fouls it back. Russell, 77 strikeouts, leads the league, and he has struck out in 47 of his 54 previous starts. And Hernandez has him set up here 1-2. You see career numbers, a .344 average against New York with 4 homers.
Here's the time that you may see the high fastball to Branyan.
See if they can get him to chase. He hits it on the line to center field, but right at Bernie Williams. Hit it hard, but the side retired. Bottom of the second coming up. The Yankees will send up 8, 9, and 1 with a 2-0 lead. From Yankee Stadium, Indians baseball on Fox Sports Net is being brought to you tonight by BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, home of the Real Wing and your big screen sports headquarters. By Lowe's, improving home improvement. By Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com. And by McDonald's, we love to see you smile. And now it's the Yankees smiling. They have a 2-0 lead as Scott Brocious, who homered last night, will lead off. Beautiful day in New York City. Very pleasant tonight at the ballpark. And he pulls it foul past third base coach Willie Randolph. Lee Mazzilli is the coach at first for Joe Torre. You know, I mentioned the close games for the Yankees, Rick, including last night. 6 of their last 10 games have been decided by 1 run.
Well, it means they're not pounding the baseball a whole lot, and they're scoring a few, but the pitching's holding them down, and they're staying in ball games. And they have a knack, if they hang around, they find a way to win, even through their injuries, and even through last year, after their one dominating year they had.
But they are 4 games better than they were at this point in the season a year ago. And you'll recall they went on to win another world championship last year. The last time they lost in postseason, it was the Indians who beat them. The Yankees have been on quite a roll. Charles Nagy looking for his 125th career victory. Comes inside with the ball. It's 1-2. It's outside and low, and the count evens out at 2 balls, 2 strikes. One change for the Indians today. David Risky goes back to Buffalo. And coming off the disabled list is Will Cordero, who's been out for a while with that problem with the skin tag on his hand that needed surgery. 2-2 pitch. Full count, 3-2.
Well, Shuey also goes back. He goes out on an assignment tomorrow to pitch at Akron. So he'll be out for a couple games. There's Cordero back. Been hitting. It says it feels fine. So he's eligible for Charlie. What were we carrying? 14 pitchers?
Seemed like it. They were playing a man short with him on the disabled list as far as position players were concerned. Hit well to left field. Back is Branyan at the warning track. He'll have room. 1 out. Join us for Tribe Time, brought to you by East of Chicago Pizza, in our next edition tomorrow at 12:30 against the Yankees. We have a lot coming up for you, as always. Matt, Bill, and Katie, your source for the best Indians coverage, Vision Fitness, Team Focus, and Omar Iamigos with CC Sabathia as his guest. So that should be fun right here on Tribe Time tomorrow at 12:30. Soriano the batter. Alfonso had 2 hits last night, a .280 average. Swing and a miss. Soriano has a modest 3-game hitting streak working, making the Yankees opening day roster for the first time, and Charlie gets ahead of him 0-2. I talked to Charlie, who we talked about him being an All-American pitcher at UConn. Actually started collegially at Cornell and was there for about a semester and a half before he transferred to UConn. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball is popped foul.
Do you know the reason why he transferred?
No, he didn't say. Guess he wanted to go home and play baseball in Connecticut.
Makes sense. I was going to say, then why did he leave in the first place? But
he also was in an accident at UConn in which he cut his leg pretty badly. And the result was an artery that was severed, had to have some surgery, and this one is hit to high, shallow left field. This time coming in is Branyan. He makes the second put out of the inning. And it was that injury that kind of altered what he wanted to do. He was a shortstop and a part-time pitcher. Well, after that, he became a full-time pitcher.
I think it worked out for the best.
Absolutely. 2 fly balls to left, and Knobloch, who flied out to right, will bat with the bases empty and 2 outs. Just outside for ball 1. Nagy gave up 4 singles and 2 runs in the first to New York. He's gotten the first 2 outs hit. Of course, the Yankees did their damage with 2 outs. The 2-out RBI singles by Posada and O'Neill to put the Indians in a hole. Inside, 2-0. Knobloch making the adjustment to playing the outfield and is DHing tonight.
I think it's taken a lot of pressure off him offensively, and they need this guy in the leadoff spot. When he moves out to the outfield, he's running the bases much better. He's stealing more bases. Remember when he was having his troubles throwing from second base, they would sit him down at periods of times. And it's really helped his offense. And the Yankees desperately need a leadoff hitter. I think Soriano's too much of a free swinger. Maybe eventually he'll develop into one. But this guy, Chuck Knobloch, a tough out in that number 1 hole. He really works the pitchers. Takes a lot of pitches. He'll foul off a lot of pitches. He's a pest.
Count 2-2 on him. breaking ball bounces in the dirt. I mean, a new baseball for Charles Nagy. Well, it was not encouraging for the Indians starting staff to have the kind of outing that Finley had last night. That's not what the Indians needed.
Well, you go back to May 17th, the starters are just 8-11 with an ERA of over 6.2, and they're averaging just 5 innings a start.
Hit on the ground to short. Omar Vizquel gobbles it up, throws him out. Nagy retires the Yankees in order in the second. We'll go to the third. Diaz, Vizquel, and Burks due up.
Well, the Yankees are leading at 2-0 going into the top half of the third inning, and you want to talk about similarities? I think we can show you one right here. On the left, it's El Duque Cito on the right, and look at that motion. His number should be 62. It's almost like throwing it in the mirror. Very, very similar.
Einar Diaz will lead off against El Duquecito. Einar 1 for 3 with an RBI last night. The Indians down 2. Diaz has hit safely in 5 straight now. 7 for 17 in that stretch. He's hit 2 homers on the year and good numbers against New York. 6 of his 28 runs batted in have come against the Yankees. And the first pitch in the third inning is in there for a strike. Fouled away. No balls and 2 strikes.
And you hope like the outcome would be the same against like El Duque, because coming into this year he was 1-4 against the Indians. They've always hit him very well,
at least in the regular season.
That is correct.
Well, he was kind of an afterthought, though. If you look at the Yankees media guide, Orlando Hernandez is listed first and he's listed second, which would be out of order alphabetically.
Well, they slipped him in. They did sign him to a 4-year, $4 million contract after he defected.
1-2 on Diaz, leading off the top of the third. The Indians looking for their 45th win of the season. And he strikes him out on the breaking pitch. Strikeout number 2 for Hernandez.
And that was just a little slider. Einar going out to get it and just doesn't get there in time. Really pulls the string on him.
Well, the Indians having problems in the month of June. They are 11-12. But the big difference is they haven't sagged out of sight, as happened last year when they went 14-18 in June and went from a game and a half out to 9.5 out.
Yeah, they lost 8 games in the standing in that month. They never really recouped.
No, never really recovered. Vizquel bouncer back to the box. And 2 easy outs in this inning for Hernandez.
Well, there's plenty of great 100th anniversary merchandise available this year. You can get them at 9 Indians team shops, the souvenir stands at Jacobs Field, or the Indians catalog by mail order by calling 1-800-38-DRIVE.
Well, the Indians lead a half game coming into tonight. Their biggest lead has just been a game and a half over Minnesota. At their biggest deficit, 4 games this season. Strike call. On the inside corner at the knees. 0-1 on Ellis. Flight out to right on the first pitch he saw first time up. Swing and a miss. Now 0-2.
Looks like he's starting to find a little range with that slider. Making some better pitches where looks like he had a tough time finding it in the first 2 innings. Getting behind the hitters.
Yankee fans get into it. They want the strikeout. The 0-2 pitch. Burks hammers it to left field. Back is Spencer. The ball's over his head and skips up against the wall. On his way to second with a double is Ellis Burks, and the Indians pick up their second hit and have their second runner in scoring position.
Well, not what you would call a good 0-2 pitch here. He changed his arm angle and got underneath this slider, and he hung it and left this ball middle of the plate. Not where you want to see an 0-2 pitch. And when you're swinging the bat like Ellis Burks, you do with it what he just did. You hammer it, short hops the left field wall. He gets his 18th double And with 2 outs, the Indians are going to try and get on the board.
It'll be up to Roberto Alomar, who walked and stole a base his first time up. He was stranded at second in the first inning. The Indians have had at least 1 base runner in each inning so far. In for strike 1. Hernandez gets ahead of Roberto Alomar. Second by just 1 point going into today, behind Suzuki for the league and the lead in hitting. And he bounces it towards second base. An easy 2-hopper for Soriano. And again, the Indians strand a runner in scoring position, but come up empty. Still 2-0 New York. And Jeter will lead it off for New York. Meryl Streep watching her Yankees lead the Indians 2-0. Well, we assume she's a Yankee fan. Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, and Tino Martinez to face Charles Nagy here in the 3rd inning. Jeter and Williams got base hits and scored runs in the 2-run New York first. It's now the bottom of the 3rd. Jeter swung at the first pitch last time up, and he takes the first pitch here. It's outside for ball 1. Pretty good start to this guy's career, huh?
Yes,
at age 27.
Yes, it certainly is. Does he have 4 rings already?
Breaking ball, check swing, foul.
It's like, what do you do for an encore?
I guess you just keep winning those rings, huh?
Well, it's awfully tough to do. Some guys go their whole career without winning them and have some brilliant careers. This guy's got 4 out of his first, 6 years?
Amazing. 7th full season, a .319 average for Derek Jeter. He's some kind of shortstop. A 1-1 pitch. Downstairs, ball 2, 2-1. The Indians tonight have 2 hits. They have the game's only extra base hit, but they have not scored, stranding 2 runners in scoring position. Breaking ball drops in there. 2-2.
It looks like Jeff Nelson calling the high breaking ball tonight. This one gets in there and Jeter checks his swing, but you see by the time it comes down, it's right there around the belt. There's the side view right there. That was right at the belt.
Called him out on strike. Well, he sneaked that one in at the knees on the inside corner. And that is his second called 3rd strike tonight.
Well, I've never seen Jeter happy when he gets called out on strikes anyway, but that's a good pitch on the inside corner. That's how he got Martinez. He goes right back in there. Good pitch. You'll see it over the plate here on the inside corner. He's looking away. Jeter says it may be a ball off the inside corner. Umpire shakes his head and says, no, that's a strike.
Bernie Williams, base hit, run scored his first time up. New York on top by 2. We're in Yankee Stadium on Fox Sports Net, cable home of the Cleveland Indians. Glad you could join us for Indians baseball. The laid-back crowd tonight, at least so far. Yankees got them going a little bit with that 2-run first inning. Charlie has settled in a bit. Retired 5 straight. But he falls behind Williams, 2-0. There's a strike, and Charlie says that because he has so many family and friends who come in at the hotel, he usually winds up sleeping on the floor.
Well, you would think he might get him some rooms, huh? I don't think he slept on the floor last night before pitching.
I don't think so either, no. And knowing Charlie, that's probably an exaggeration. 2-1 pitch, just missing inside. 3-1 the count. 1 out, bases empty. The Yankees batting, looking for their 43rd win of the year. Trying to make it 5 wins and wrap up the season series against the Indians. The series will end tomorrow with that day game. Bouncing ball, and it dribbles through into center field. Williams gets his second straight hit. That's hit number 5 for New York. All singles.
Well, there's an all-new site this season. It's in-depth stats with everything to do with baseball. Press releases with updates on ticket availability for upcoming games. You have fantasy leagues, chat rooms, forums, and more. That's Indians.com. Connect with it.
One out, one on as Tino Martinez stands in.
When you're going good like Bernie, Charlie made a pretty good pitch there. He hits it on the ground and finds a hole. That's why he's 2 for 2.
All 5 Yankee hits are singles so far. Aggies 2 strikeouts. One was Jeter and the other was Tino Martinez. Missing low, ball 1. One out, one on, and Posada is on deck. Paying some attention to Bernie at first. He does have 8 steals on the season. Knobloch leads the team with 24. Soriano has 23.
But you know, they're not just stealing bases, they're doing it at a great percentage, about 80% of the time. I mean, they're not just running crazy and just, you know, keep running until you get tagged out. Well, they've been caught 23 times this year.
Fly ball toward Brandon and left. Russell is there for out number 2. Tino Martinez is 0 for 2. Williams back to first.
I'll get to BW3 Wild Wings today and enter to win a new Kawasaki Bayou ATV. That's courtesy of Jerry Farrell's Cycle Megastore in Medina. BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the home of the real wing and your summer big screen headquarters.
Here is Posada. Provided the first New York run with a 2-out single in the first, and O'Neill did the same to make it 2-0. That's where we stand. Posada now with a 6-game batting streak. Swing and a miss. Good movement on that Nagy pitch.
Yeah, he started him off with the curveball, and that's the pitch, the breaking ball that Charlie actually calls it a slider, but you'll see it go straight down. That's the pitch he got the base hit on the 3-2 count. Goes down 8 inches, 72 miles an hour, and the National Spit Tobacco Education Program and its chairman Joe Garagiola would like to remind you that smokeless does not mean harmless.
Well, he calls it a slider. A lot of people call it a slurve.
Well, you know, really a slider is supposed to break about 6 to 8 inches and sort of slide and go down on a little plane. The curveball, that one had a lot of drop to it when you go, it said 8 inches. That looked like an overhand curve, really. But it's just how he throws his slider. You know, he may get under it a little bit more and get more tilt to it, to where it does go down.
Well, he does have a little different motion with that. But he said it's something he's always done, and it's been effective for him. So he said, I can't really explain what it does, but to me, it's a slider.
You know, sometimes it may, you know, break less, and I think a lot of it may have to do with the speed he throws it at as well.
0-1 the count. 2 outs. Williams the runner at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Charlie misses away. The count evens out.
Sometimes if you're going to steal a base with 2 out, you would like to do it early in the count to give that hitter a chance to drive you in.
Posada had a terrific game against the Indians on June 2nd. Drove in 5, and 2 homers and a double in that game. 2-1 the count. And I think in watching Posada, Rick, he's just gotten better and better the last few years.
Well, he certainly has, and he had about a week period here after we left town the last time where he hurt a thumb. It was actually the sinker that he was catching some of his pitchers that he hurt, and he wasn't catching for a while. He could hit with it, but he had a tough time catching it on his left hand. But offensively, you're right, and defensively, he's getting better.
Ball is drilled to center field, but right in his tracks is Kenny Lofton, and the side is retired. A hit, a man left. We've played 3. Yankees have the lead. We'll see the heart of the inning batting order when we come back. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, top half of the 4th inning. I'm John Sanders along with Rick Manning. Glad to have you aboard tonight. For the middle game of this series, Juan Gonzalez, who struck out swinging, will lead off, and then Jim Thome and Travis Fryman. Tribe has 2 hits in the ballgame so far in the first 3 innings. Hernandez has walked a couple and struck out 2. New York with a 2-0 lead. Gonzalez swings and misses at a slider, so strike 1. 0-1 the count. Downstairs for ball 1. Count evens. Gonzalez 5th in the league in hitting coming into tonight with that .342 average. He's dropped off to .341 with his 0 for 1 tonight. Ball game just over an hour old, and the 1-1 pitch. Hit toward right field, and O'Neill is right there at the edge of the warning track for out number 1.
Well, the 4th annual picnic in the park will take place at Jacobs Field July 21st. It's a special 100th anniversary celebration. And there will be cocktails in the dugout, dancing on the infield, food, fireworks, and a lot of fun. If you don't have your tickets, call 216-420-4400.
One out in the Indians' half of number 4. Jim Thome hitless so far in this series, 0 for 5. Grounded out to short. The Yankees shifting Derek Jeter behind second base.
He's about as far as you can go. He's got to stay right there, because when the pitcher falls off toward the first base side, now he's really going to go over, and he's going to have to move an extra 4 or 5 steps, so you know when the pitcher does release the ball, he can see it and his body doesn't get in the way.
So now the full shift employed by New York. Thome lifts it foul, and he's down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. That one's in the upper deck left side. He has had that home run stroke going the last 6 weeks or so, hasn't he?
Yes, he did, but there was an at-bat in the game last night that he had that he really gave it away. You know, and sometimes he's had that stroke going. You don't want him to think home runs, because the home runs started to come when he was putting quality at-bats together.
Well, that at-bat last night, he struck out and didn't see a strike.
At the 3-0 count, and that was in their 7-run inning.
Off-speed pitch misses outside. It's 1-2. Thome now 20+ homers in 8 straight seasons, which was an Indians record. Larry Doby had 7 straight 20+ seasons. Jim now with 20. Ian Ellis Burks have 20. Gonzalez 18. Fryman is on deck. There's 1 out. Base is empty. From 0-2 to 3-2. Just the 2nd major league start for Adrian Hernandez. A 26-year-old native of Cuba. Payoff pitch is low. It's walk number 3. And the trend continues. The Indians have had at least 1 base runner in every inning so far tonight. Had the leadoff man on base just once. Well, a reminder about the Ohio Sports Report. Check it out. And the Shell Play of the Day, the Ohio Sports Report, every night at 10. The Shell Play of the Day, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Shell dealers. At 10 o'clock, or just as soon as we are finished with Indians baseball here on Fox Sports Net. Travis walked his first time up. Alomar's also walked tonight. Thome aboard on the base on balls with 1 out. Fryman pulls it foul down the third baseline. They, of course, a few years back reconfigured, redid Yankee Stadium and changed it dramatically. There's almost no foul territory when you get, oh, say, 80 feet down that line past third and first base.
Plenty of it behind home plate. The catchers don't like it because if there's a pass ball, guys can go 2 bases in this ballpark. That's where all the space is.
Fryman fouls it off the other way. And it's no balls, 2 strikes. Comey was down no balls, 2 strikes and wound up drawing a walk.
Ellis Burks was down no balls and 2 strikes. He gave up the double. Travis yet to hit his first home run this year. Which you take into consideration, he's just coming out of spring training.
That's right.
Other people are in midseason form. Travis is in April.
Missed the first 2 months of the season. The 0-2 pitch. Had a notion, held up, but dropped low. 1-2. Kenny Lofton is on deck. The Indians trying to get something going in the 4th. Down by a pair. This one is popped up on the infield. Soriano backing out on the grass, and he takes care of Fryman for out number 2. So that will leave it up to Kenny Lofton if the inning is to continue.
Center fielder Kenny Lofton.
You mentioned the first time we've seen Joe Brinkman and his crew this year. I think with the umpires working both leagues, you're not going to see him as much as we have in the past.
Well, I've seen Mike Fichter before. He's been in one of our games, but this is the first time I remember Cousins and Brinkman being around.
Lofton takes a look at ball 1 low and away. Kenny popped up to Scott Brocious his first time up. There's a drive down the right field line. Is he out in front too far? Yes. And the distance, not the direction.
Well, they have 17 different umpiring crews. They're labeled by letters this year, A through Q. And I'm sure there's some umpires in there that'll float.
Well, obviously they have, because Davey Phillips was part of this crew.
Well, he may take his vacation now. Mike Fichter fills in for him. You know, they can pick and choose when they take their vacations. And of course, we're going to be missing one from Crew I, Al Clark, who was just let go.
I don't ever recall that happening during the season. Do you?
No. No, I do not.
2-1 on Lofton. Comey the runner at first. The Indians down a pair. Lofton fouls it back, and that evens it out at 2 balls, 2 strikes. But you didn't play here, right, Rick, when the ballpark was set up the old way?
No, not when it was wide open to left center field. Those monuments were out in play. I did. My first year up here, we ended up playing in Shea Stadium because they were renovating their first 2 years, as a matter of fact. But they've even moved it in since then.
That's right.
Over in left center field.
Still plenty roomy in left center and center. Lofton bounces it to first. Martinez back to the bag. And the Indians are retired. They get a walk, strand their 4th runner. Still trailing 2-0 as O'Neill, Spencer, and Brocious will bat for New York. Well, it took the Indians a while to get their offense untracked last night. Same thing tonight, but just down 2 as the Yankees bat in the bottom half of the 4th inning at Yankee Stadium. You look at all those retired numbers out there, Rick, and you have to think one of these days they're going to run out of numbers if they keep doing that.
You would certainly think so.
There are the
14
numbers.
or 15. It's slim pickings if you're a rookie coming up now.
That's right.
You get to spring training, you may have triple digits.
Start looking in the 60s. This one is lifted to Gonzalez in right. 1 pitch and 1 out for the Yankees in the 4th. The National Sports Report brought to you by Polaris. Call 1-800-POLARIS to find your nearby dealer. The show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all of the day's sports news every night. Right here on Fox Sports Net, it's the National Sports Report. Shane Spencer grounded into a force play to end that 2-run New York first inning. 0 for 1 in the ball game, and 2 for 4 in the series. Scott Brocious will follow. Aggie's been very effective so far, limiting New York to 5 hits. They did have those 2 key 2-out singles that gave them the lead in the first inning. But Charlie's pitched pretty well. This is 53 pitches now for Nagy, and that's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball is bounced toward Fryman, and it's foul. Well, after the Urbina deal fell through for New York, they did go out and get Jay Ratasi. He pitched last night, didn't pitch very effectively, but Joe Torre and the Yankees have been looking for some help in that bullpen.
Well, you know, anytime they're winning, they go to Stanton and Rivera, and they're on the same path as the Indians bullpen is if their starters don't start pitching, and that's burnout with those 2 guys. So they've got to find someone else. Last year they had Jeff Nelson in the pen, and with Mel Stottlemyre, they had to get somebody that could give them some innings to go from the starter into their setup guys. And believe me, they still may be looking, because when you have guys like Pettit on the DL, Clemens has held his share of the load.
Center field, a lot of room out there. Kenny Lofton takes care of Spencer. 2 down now in the Yankee half of inning number 4, and Scott Brocious, who flied out to the warning track and left, will bat for New York.
In fact, Clemens, the first 10-game winner in the American League. It's the first time a Yankee's done that since Tommy John back in 1980.
You picked up on that trivia, didn't you?
And then you had a little Louisiana Lightning do that a couple of years before him, Guidry, in '78 when he was 25-3. So Roger has done a good job. Although the times that the Indians have faced him, they've gotten to him and they've hit him better than they have in the past.
They just haven't won.
They didn't get good pitch games against him. They scored 5 runs off him, I know, one time, I think 4 in another game.
But he still got 2 wins.
And I'll tell you, Andy Pettit was throwing the ball very well this year. The game that we beat him here, he pitched very well. And you know, when you have that groin problem, or when you're a starting pitcher, it could affect you all year long if you try and come back too fast.
Well, the other New York team, the Mets, certainly struggling. They lost again today. I think they've now lost 6 in a row for the 2nd time this year.
Yeah, they're bad.
One pitch is a strike. 1-2 the count. The Indians do need to get their rotation straightened out and in gear again. Burba had a good outing his last start. Sabathia just continues, Rick, to get better and better.
And that's what you wanted to see, the progress from that kid from April till September, and we are seeing it in progress. You have to think, though, the way Finley pitched last night, if his neck or some problems still aren't bothering him, because he's not pitching the same as he did earlier in the year, that's for sure.
Did not throw the split finger very much at all last night.
Well, you didn't see it. If he's throwing it, it's certainly not effective. And if you take that's the major bullet in his gun there, is the split finger.
Fly ball to right. Gonzalez coming on. He won't get there. Drops for a base hit. Brocious serves it into right field. He picks up the Yankees' 6th hit, a 2-out single.
Well, and I did see Gonzalez. He did get a good jump on it. He just couldn't catch up with it. You see a good pitch, a breaking ball off the end of the bat. Just didn't hit it deep enough to where Gonzalez could come and get it. Tried to make it all the way, and then I see a quick bounce. Almost got by him. So the Yankees get their 6th hit.
Here is Soriano. He flied out to left his first time up.
Hitters love it when they get a hit, don't they? They start talking to the first baseman. When they make that right-hand turn, you can hear them mumbling to themselves.
Right.
But when they make the left, they always have something nice to say.
There's nobody to talk to for about 50 feet till you get back to the dugout.
Yeah, there is. Yourself.
Swing and a miss. Soriano out in front. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. They did their damage in the first inning off Nagy. Charlie's given up just 2 singles since. And a total of 6 singles in the ballgame.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all been singles. It's not like they've hit the ball sharply. They just hit it where they weren't.
Knocked down by Charles. Nagy throws to Jim Thome. Good reaction by Charlie. Gets the final out of the inning. The Yankees strand their fourth runner, and the Indians will have Branyan, Diaz, and Vizquel. We're leading the American League in batting average, second in runs scored, and second in home runs. The 2-0 pitch. Low ball 3.
The only time the Indians had their leadoff man aboard was in the first inning when
That's right.
Vizquel started off with a base hit.
64 pitches now for Hernandez, and that's in there for strike 1. White Sox have an early 1-0 lead over the Twins. And the White Sox 7.5 games out at the start of play today. Russell lays off a pitch down and out of the strike zone, and he walks. So that's 4 walks, but the Indians have yet to make him pay. And as Rick just mentioned, just the second time now that they've had the leadoff man aboard in an inning.
Well, Cleveland Indians Charities, along with Major League Baseball, are proud to support the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland. There are several of today's professional ball players, Charlie Nagy being one. Support the Boys and Girls Club. For more information on how you can support it, call 216-420-4400, 4200. No, 4400.
Well, make up your mind.
Thinking the Indians is 4200.
That's right. Upstairs for a ball. So that's 5 straight pitches. No, it's not. He did have 1 strike there, didn't he, on 3-0?
Yes, he did. You watching?
Yes, I am. 5 out of 6.
Quit listening to my drop. Pay more attention to the game.
Diaz struck out his first time up. And it's 2-0.
This is the way he started the game out in the first couple innings, where he was falling behind a lot of the hitters. He settled down into the 3rd and 4th inning. And that's going to bring Mel Stottlemyre out.
So the pattern does continue, though, Rick. He has given up base runners in every inning so far. The Indians have had just 2 scoring chances, but have not, like the Yankees, come up with the key 2-out hit.
Well, you can get on deck with the Tribe in November. They will be hitting the beautiful waters of the Mexican Riviera. You can book it through Kima Travel. It is presented by K&M Productions. The number is 1-866-ON-DECK-1. It's presented by, or it's put on by Princess Cruises, a beautiful ship. And before you know it, we will be there. A host of Indians. 1-866-ON-DECK-1.
Including the guy at the plate, right? Maynard's coming back?
Maynard's back, yep. Bartolo, CC, Charlie Manuel.
Sounds like a great trip. Get going because those cabins are filling up.
Yes, they are. I have one with your name on it in case you want to go, John, but don't. You got to let me know in a hurry.
I think I'm going to be busy, Rick.
I have a feeling you're right.
Branyan, the runner at first, nobody out. And there's a strike. 2-1 now. Maynard will take a look at Joel Skinner. Makes him get in the strike zone. Vizquel to follow. The Indians down 2. Diaz hits it down the left field line. Headed that way is Spencer at the warning track at the wall. It's gone. A 2-run home run by Einar Diaz, and the Indians draw even. 3rd home run of the year for Diaz, and the Tribe has tied it up.
Well, Einar Diaz never met a fastball he didn't like up in that zone. Tried to come back with it after the 2-0 fastball away. Tried to maybe run one inside on the hands of Einar Diaz, and he turned on it. And that's the spot to hit it at, down the line here in Yankee Stadium. He gets his 3rd home run, his 29th and 30th RBI, and we have a new ball game. See, Posada was sitting away. That ball comes back in, and Hernandez did not want to put it there, and Diaz did want to put it there.
So the Indians get home run number 102 and tie it up. There's fellow catcher Tim Laker patting him off a little bit.
Well, it's the 3rd home run that Hernandez has given up, so he's given up in 1 every time he's pitched. This being his 2nd start.
The Indians have tied it just like that. As Diaz pulls it down the line, got it out of here. Vizquel is 1 for 2. And Hernandez falls behind him. I don't think so.
I was going to say it's a tad early to start bringing the boy in.
It's Ramiro Mendoza who's warming up. There's the strike. 2-1 on Vizquel. Burks to follow. The Indians have tied it. Now they've got to figure out a way to take the lead against El Ducasito. There is Mendoza.
You know, Joe Torre realizes this offense can strike in a hurry, as they did last night for 7 runs.
The count evens out as Old fouls it off. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's tough for the young pitcher when you're out there. You know, you never know what's going to happen. I think when Stottlemyre went to settle him down, how many times you see it happen? You get him back in the strike zone, and then somebody hurts him with the home run.
That's exactly what happened. Well, we made the pitch in a bad spot, and that's what happened. We've seen it happen to our pitchers.
Every time you see that catcher sitting outside having to reach that hand back over the middle part of the plate, you could be in trouble.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Vizquel wastes it. Still a full count. It's one of the few ballparks in baseball, Rick, that has the screen that runs all the way back behind home plate. And you have to wait for the ball to come all the way back down. Vizquel into center field. Coming on as Williams won't get there. Omar has his second hit. So they do make him pay for the walk with a 2-run home run, and now Vizquel picks up hit number 4 for the try.
You see Omar shaking a hand. Looked like it might have got it off the end of the bat because it didn't have much on it. Right off the end of his bat, and if it's cupped, it may have stung a little bit more. Just drops there in front of Williams, and you can see the pitch groping everything away to Vizquel. Away, away, away. He finally hit that pitch number 7 right off the end of the bat.
Here's Ellis Burks, doubled his last time up. The Indians, of their 4 hits, 2 are extra base hits. The double by Burks and the home run by Diaz. It's a 2-2 ball game. And that one catches the inside corner. He threw Burks that pitch his last time up. Oh, and 1 the count. The Indians game 5 of a 6-game road trip. They are 2-2 so far after taking 2 out of 3 in Kansas City. Swing and a miss by Ellis. He's down in the count 0-2. Still nobody out. A walk, a homer, and a single. Hernandez is yet to retire a batter.
Well, it's the same count he had Ellison in his last at bat, and then he tried to drop down and throw him that slider that he just did, except he left it upstairs and left it middle of the plate.
Robbie Alomar to follow, and then Juan Gonzalez. Took a look at ball 1, up and out of the strike zone. The Indians getting to him in this 5th inning. Vizquel chased back at first. Omar was thrown out trying to steal in the 1st inning on a great throw by the catcher Posada.
Well, he does have an idea of his move now, and he does have a high leg kick because Robbie Alomar in that same inning stole it without even drawing a throw. So you try and pick a breaking ball count to run on, and this would be a breaking ball count in my estimation, a 1-2 count, trying to get Ellis to swing at that pitch down and away.
And he rolls it foul. So it remains 1-2, and Vizquel was not going anywhere on that pitch.
Well, you know, being Omar and the base runner you are, you got to make sure you make it with no outs into this game because you're coming into the meat part of your lineup. So if you're unsure, just don't run to run because I'm sure he has the green light. A lot of times Charlie will put on if you can get it jumping, you know you can get it, go ahead.
And the Indians have only 38 stolen bases, and they've been caught 23 times.
You got to be wise about, you know, picking your spots to run. They've got this guy in the ropes. They've just tied the game. The pressure's on him.
1-2 to Ellis Burks. And he hits it hard on the ground. Soriano bobbles, recovers. They get an out at second. That's all. The ball was hit hard. Soriano was maybe thinking double play a little too quickly that time.
You know what? He thought he booted the ball. And it was in his glove. It almost looked like he was screened by second base umpire Joe Brinkman. This will be a good angle. But he has the ball in his glove and he's looking around. Watch this. He is. He's screened by the umpire. He thought the ball went around and it was right there in his glove and it falls out. They're only able to get one. That's exactly what happened. Lost the handle for a moment. Found it.
They get an out at second.
Yeah, that's a routine double play ball if he handles it cleanly. But he was blocked a little bit by the umpire.
Now Alomar to the plate. Robbie's 0 for 1 with a walk, and ball 1 is outside.
How about the game in Cleveland when the ball hit the umpire?
That's right. Kept the inning going.
Kept it going. They ended up scoring a run on that play. I think that was against Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. It's now Burks at first, 1 out. And that's in there for a strike. That might be the hardest pitch he's thrown tonight.
What was that at?
It was about 90, wasn't it?
That's tops. I've seen a lot of 86s, and I saw maybe about 188.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. The Indians have tied it on a 2-run home run by Diaz. Posada wants this pitch inside, and it is hammered to right. This one is gone. Robbie Alomar off the facing of the upper deck, and the Indians have a 4-2 lead. He hammered that pitch. Wow.
Well, when you get a fastball up in that zone, and I'm pretty sure that's what that pitch was, Robbie got the bat head out, and it's the second 2-run home run in the inning. So the Indians will take a 4-2 lead for Robbie Alomar. Home run number 8, RBIs 45 and 46. And watch the bat head here. See you later. Posada wanted to reach out and grab it before it got to the bat. That might have been a high changeup as well.
Well, it was hammered just off the facing of the upper deck. Joe Torre goes to the mound, and that's going to do it for El Ducasito. He is done. The Indians have a 2-run lead. Stay with us. We'll be back with more after this. Andy Sims Buick, where you could be driving a pre-owned 2001 Buick Century for only $14,995. Luxurious comfort at an affordable price. V6 engine, power locks, power windows, air, tilt, ABS brakes, and much more. Low miles, plus a 12-point safety check only at Andy Sims Buick. 4-2, the Indians on a pair of 2-run blasts have the lead here in Yankee Stadium.
And the new pitcher coming on for Joe Torre and the Yankees is Ramiro Mendoza. Coming on for the 22nd time. His record is 4-2. An ERA of 5.23, and he has 2 saves. You know, this guy has been really the flip-flop guy for the Yankees over the last 5 years, where he's got both a win and as a starter and coming out of the bullpen for the last 5 years. So they utilize him in different roles.
His first batter will be Gonzalez, and he starts him off with a breaking ball and gets ahead. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out, 4 runs in for the Indians.
Mendoza started the season on the disabled list.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. And Gonzalez is 4 for 13 with a double against Ramiro Mendoza. There you see the numbers. He struck out 3 times, and he's down here. No balls, 2 strikes. Inside for ball 1. On deck hitter is Jim Thome. The bases are empty. Go back to the double play that Soriano didn't turn, and it cost New York a run.
Good point.
Just outside, ball 2. Count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Branyan walked. Diaz homered. Vizquel single. He was forced at second by Ellis Burks. And then Alomar delivered his 2-run homer. So the Tribe on top by 2. Bounced foul. We're in the 5th inning tonight at Yankee Stadium. Game number 8 between these 2 teams this year, and it's off the end of the bat foul. Count stays at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez goes 4 1/3 tonight. 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, giving up the 2 homers, and he also walked 4 batters, and one of those scored. Fly ball, deep left field. Back is Spencer at the warning track, near the wall, leaps and makes the catch. Terrific play in left field by Spencer for the second out.
Had that timed pretty well, going right down the line. Gonzalez didn't really get all of this ball, got underneath it, but Spencer had it timed, gets over there, and it looked like it would have been a home run. He's reaching for the wall, jumps up, and does take a home run away from Gonzalez. You know, no fan was there to really interfere with it. Would have been awfully close, but he does make a nice catch. He knew he was getting close to the wall. You see that right hand going up there, and he figures, I'm running out, I might as well jump. And I don't know if that would have been a home run.
I think it might have been
angle.
just short.
Might be right.
It's a good play, and it's out number 2 in the inning. Here's Thome, who has grounded out and walked so far tonight. Would Knobloch have made that play?
I don't know.
He's not in left field tonight. He's DHing for
He
the
may be
Yankees.
telling somebody he would have made it, but you never know.
Thome flips that one foul. 1-2 the count.
I tell you, he hasn't hurt him out in left field.
No.
You know, I mean, making that change, he's a pretty good athlete. I don't think there's any really bonehead plays that he's made, because if there was, we would have seen it coming out of New York, right?
Absolutely. You'd be hearing about it. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Thome, and he lifts it in the air, foul again.
Mendoza, he throws the sinker. A lot of stuff going down, always down and away to the left-handers, or it could be bearing into the right-handers. It's tough to center on that ball. You will see when he's on a lot of ground balls from Mendoza.
Thome has a pair of home runs. He's 3 for 9 against Mendoza with 2 homers. The only other Indian who's gone deep against Ramiro Mendoza is Robbie Alomar.
Well, it's tough to lift the ball off this guy, but Jim's a good low ball hitter, so he's pitching sometimes into Jimmy's strength.
Struck him out this time, and the inning is over. Mendoza comes out of the pen, gets the final 2 outs, but the Indians use the long ball, first by Diaz and then by Robbie Alomar to take the lead. Two-run homer by Diaz tied it. Two-run homer by Alomar gives the Indians the lead. We go to the 5th inning, and I think, Rick, this is a very important inning now for Charles Nagy. He's got to face the top of the order. He's got the lead for the first time.
Well, they're always important, John, when you get the runs, you get on the board, and also you take that lead. It's just going to be a little tougher for him because it is the top of the order. But he has settled down since the 1st inning, where he gave up 4 hits in that 1st inning. 2-out run scoring.
And there's a base hit to start the Yankee half of inning number 5. Knobloch gets his first hit tonight. The Indians pick up their 7th, all singles.
And the first time that they've had their leadoff man aboard tonight is the Yankees. Chuck Knobloch gets that little sinker down and in. Turns on it to left field. So it gets the Yankees started.
And it looks like we're going to get some activity in the Indians bullpen now. Knobloch aboard to start the bottom half of the 5th inning. Here's Derek Jeter, singled and scored and struck out tonight. Nagy has struck out 2. He has not walked a batter in the ball game. It's a bit of a problem for Hernandez, who walked 4. The Indians infield looking for the double play. 4-2, Tribe lead.
And that's what it does to Charlie. It gets him in the stretch, and it puts pressure on him to keep his eye on Knobloch at first base.
With 24 stolen bases, just 1 behind Suzuki for the American League lead in steals. Even though he's been bothered a bit by that sore toe. There's a strike call. Jeter was called out on strikes his last time up, and there is Rodriguez beginning to warm up. Rich, while waiting for the bus to take the team to the ballpark, was signing some autographs, and he made the comment that he looks more like a New Yorker than he does a Californian.
He does.
He satisfied a lot of fans outside the hotel. 0-1 the count. Nobody out, and Knobloch on at first. "66 pitches so far for Charles Nagy tonight. That's just outside, and the count evens at 1-1. You notice Jeter, when he decides to take a pitch, he takes a good long look at it. Puts it all the way into the catcher's glove.
Well, Charlie got him on that inside pitch. He did not like the call on back in the third inning. He's going to make sure he stays on everything this at bat.
In the dirt, ball 2-1.
Right now, I think Charlie a little frustrated with himself because the key to these guys not running also is trying to get ahead of him. He did 0-1, and then he missed with the breaking ball and missed with a pitch right there. So now you got to go at Derek Jeter. You don't want to get behind him 3-1. It's a good count to run on for Knobloch.
See what the Yankees have in mind as they trail by 2 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bouncing ball could be 2. Flip to second for 1. Vizquel on to Tomey, double play. That's the pitcher's pal for Charlie Nagy right there.
Boy, it certainly is. Let's make that our Ohio Lottery instant replay. And Charlie makes his pitch, and Jeter trying to go and shoot that hole between first and second, but he doesn't get it there. It's right at Alomar. Watch the quick backhand flip by Robbie. Gives Vizquel plenty of time to get over there. And plenty of time to turn it for Derek Jeter. The 55th double play turned by the Indians, and a big one right there.
And his 2 down bases empty with Bernie Williams coming up, and Bernie is 2 for 2 tonight. He has 2 of the 7 Yankee singles. The Indians get the double play when they need it here in the 5th inning. You look up and down this lineup. Tino Martinez, who bats next, is left-handed, and Posada, of course, a switch hitter, and O'Neill, another lefty. Nagy's pitch is hit on the ground to Tomey. Backhands, goes back to the bag unassisted. So thanks to the double play, Charlie Nagy faces just 3. The Indians will go back to work with Travis Fryman leading off, followed by Kenny Lofton. Here we go to the top half of inning number 6. The Indians get the double play, helps Nagy out in that 5th inning. So Travis Fryman 0 for 1 with a walk. You decide to stand up the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to stand now.
Okay.
I hope I don't bother you.
Knee high fastball for a strike to Travis. Mendoza got Gonzalez to fly out to the wall and left, and then struck out Jim Tomey to end that 4-run 5th inning. Breaking ball away. It's 1-1. Travis is 8 for 18 against Mendoza with a double, so a 444 batting average against this Yankee right-hander. Rolls that one foul for the Indians dugout, and it's 1-2. A pair of 2-run dingers by the Tribe has given Cleveland the lead over New York. The Yankees have out-hit the Indians 7-5. They have 7 singles. The Indians have 5 hits, but they have the double and the 2 homers. And that's a good pitch for strike 3 call.
And Travis knew it. He realized that was right on the outside corner. Excellent pitch. Second strikeout in a row for Mendoza. Can't hit that right there at the knees on the black, and it's away for out number 1.
Here's Kenny Lofton. Kenny is 0 for 3 against Mendoza. Kenny is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Had a big pinch hit double last night. Shows bunt, takes low, ball 1. Adrian Hernandez was the starter. Went 4 1/3. Gave up all 4 runs. Mendoza's retired the 3 batters that he's faced. Lofton bunts it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Russell Branyan to follow. One pitch is low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Kenny trying to get it going. Charlie putting him in the number 7 spot in the batting order tonight. Did not start the ball game last night.
He did it last year, and it seemed to get him going a little bit. So maybe he's about time. He wants to get something going down there. Vizquela's done a nice job in the leadoff spot tonight, 2 for 3.
And he has 4 hits in the series, 4 for 8 in the leadoff spot.
Charlie's not afraid to try anything, you know, to get the team going, to take a little pressure off somebody. He's patient with the guys. He's a very positive guy around on a daily basis. And he will communicate with them and explain why he's doing certain things he's doing.
2-2 pitch is lashed foul into the seats down the left field line.
Like where, you know, sometimes a manager may say something to a reporter and the player may find about it in the paper.
That's true.
They get upset. Charlie communicates well with his ball club. Stays very upbeat and positive.
Lofton had a notion but held up. Full count 3-2. But let's make no mistake about it. This is Charlie's team. He calls the shots. This one is popped up. I don't think it's going to be playable. It's back about 10 rows. Well, join us tomorrow afternoon for our next game. The Indians take on the Yankees in their final game in the regular season this year. We'll start with Tribe Time at 12:30, brought to you by Eastern Chicago Pizza. Then it's the Indians and the Yankees right here on Fox Sports Net. Payoff pitch. Lofton hits this ball to deep right field. Back is O'Neill, and this one is gone. Second homer of the year for Kenny Lofton, the third for the Indians. They go up 5-2. That was a rocket.
Well, in 2 strikes. It seemed like he had a little shorter swing on that ball, and the ball jumped off his bat right there for Kenny Lofton. Home run number 2. The third home run of the game for the Indians. Increases their lead to 5-2. Check out the swing here by Kenny on a full count, 3-2. Posada, they want to go inside with it. And that was a much shorter swing than he has been having. And it's amazing what you do. When you can put a short swing on the ball, it seems to jump off your bat. It did for Lofton.
O'Neill took a couple of quick steps and then watched it go. He drops the breaking ball in for a strike to get ahead of Russell Branyan. Russell walked to lead off the 5th inning, and he was cashed in by Diaz, who followed with a 2-run homer. 3 long balls for the Indians tonight, 104 on the season. Branyan down the left field line, but it's slicing foul and into the seats. Alomar has a 2-run homer. We mentioned Diaz's 2-run homer, and Lofton with a solo shot. Breaking ball low, 1-2.
The Indians are just a tad away from the Texas Rangers, who have 121 homers. We have 104. And nobody else into the hundreds.
And at least they got some home runs tonight with runners on base, which is a plus. They've been hitting an awful lot of solo home runs.
Yes, they have. That's a lot of times has been the offense. And you know, sometimes that hurts you when you hit that solo home run. It's nice when they string together, like last night's inning, when they put together some hits and hits and hits. That gets the offense going. When they sit back and wait for something to happen, and you're happening via the long ball, it doesn't. Good things do not happen.
Comes back and catches the corner for a strikeout and out number 2. Second strikeout in the inning, and the last 3 outs have been strikeouts by Mendoza. This inning sandwiching the home run.
Well, this is the pitch he wanted to make to Kenny Lofton, but he did not make it, and he made it to Russell Branyan. That's a good pitch, belled high, coming back right on the inside corner. Gets a call from Jeff Nelson. It's his second called strikeout in the inning.
Here's Anar. Homered to tie the ball game with nobody out in the 4th inning. Little check swing looper to second base. Soriano backs out and makes the catch. The Indians retired, but they add a run. They go up 5-2 thanks to the second homer of the year by Kenny Lofton. Kenny Lofton with a solo shot. The Indians are up 3 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Sherwin-Williams scoreboard time. Let's check it out. It's Minnesota leading now ahead of Chicago 2-1 in the 3rd. Toronto 3-1 over Baltimore. That's in the 8th. 5-1 Tampa Bay winning in Fenway Park in the 7th inning. Kansas City beating Detroit 7-2 in the 3rd. Later Texas, Anaheim, Oakland, Seattle.
The National League side is the Mets getting beat by the Cubbies. They stay hot. It's 4-2. Florida 2-0 shutting out Montreal in the 7th. Atlanta, Philadelphia tied. Atlanta trying to get to half a game out of first place. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh are tied in the 7th. Cardinals getting beat by Cincinnati 2-0. There's no score, just started in Colorado. And Houston and Arizona will be getting it underway in about an hour. The same with the Dodgers and the Giants.
Two of those West Coast games, right?
Yes, West Coast. Arizona is the West Coast.
That's
you know
right.
That.
It is, according to your World Atlas. Martinez is struck out and flied out tonight. And the breaking ball is chopped foul. Strike one. It must be interesting to go on a long driving
You don't
trip
think
with.
that's the West Coast, huh? It's not right on the coast, but it's the west, out west.
It's west of here.
What is it?
Well, it's west of Cleveland. And, you know, we were talking about earlier, we don't go west very much this year on Fox Sports Net.
No, we don't. We just travel into Oakland for 3 games in August.
At the knee, strike two.
That's not the West Coast either, is it? Because it's Oakland.
That's right. You're on the wrong side of the bay, right? 0-2. That's not till August. We'll figure it out by then.
Maybe.
Ball one away. Martinez called out on strikes in that 2-run Yankee first. And flied out to left. Swing and a miss. Threw him a changeup, either that or a splitter, Rick, and he got him to strike out.
Well, it's the second time he's gotten Martinez tonight, and the 3rd strikeout that Charlie has. Comes right back there and featuring that good, you're right, that off-speed pitch that you'll see Martinez swings over the top of. Way out in front. So gets the first out in the 6th inning.
74 pitches now for Charles Nagy. Posada has singled to drive in a run in the 1st and lined out to center. He's hit the ball hard. The Indians have a 5-2 lead as the Yankees bat in the bottom half of inning number 6, and it's a double combination for the Indians in the bullpen right now. I believe Rodriguez is back up. And is that Roy Smith out there?
Yes,
as well?
Smith is up, and I'm looking at if Charlie can give Charlie Manuel this 6th inning, that would be fine. If not, he wanted the left-handers for these that were getting ready: Martinez, Posada, and O'Neill.
And through the right side, base hit again. Posada gets his 2nd hit of the night. The Yankees have 8. That brings up O'Neill.
Well, you see Posada, he goes down and gets that breaking ball. The 2nd time tonight he's gotten a single on the breaking ball, and Williams has 2 hits. Those guys have been the best bats in the lineup for Joe Torre.
And here comes Charlie Manuel headed toward the center of the diamond with the left-hander Paul O'Neill due up. He's got the left-hander Rodriguez ready to go. And when Charlie goes out, that usually means the end of the ball game for the pitcher. And there's the call. So Charles Nagy tonight goes 5 1/3 innings. He leaves with a lead. He cannot be the losing pitcher in this ball game. It's a 3-run lead for the Indians. We'll be back with more on Fox Sports Net. We are back. Good job by Charlie Nagy tonight. 5 1/3 innings. He gives up 8 hits, all singles. Look at his numbers in 2 starts, 3 earned runs here in Yankee Stadium. The man on base is still his responsibility as he turns it over to a guy who knows about pitching in New York, Rich Rodriguez.
Rodriguez appearing for the 24th time, a 2-2 record, 424 earned run average. Rodriguez 17 innings, giving up 18 hits. Coming on right here for Paul O'Neill. You know, he's got the 3-run lead here, and this is pretty much how it's been, where he can start matching up when you have this many relievers. And then he's got the right-hander for Shane Spencer if he wants it. Because Rodriguez can get right-handers out as well.
Well, it's O'Neill coming up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk against Rodriguez this year and 3 for 13 in his career. And the numbers against lefties and righties, pretty much the same. A little better, as a matter of fact, against left-handers.
Well, average-wise, and he takes that ball away and just probably tries to go the other way with it, but his power numbers are against the right-handers.
That's true. 10 of his 11 home runs have come against right-handers. Posada's at first with 1 out. The Indians have turned 1 double play tonight. Comey will hold the runner. And Rodriguez set to face O'Neill. And Smith continues to work in the bullpen for the Tribe. Ball one. The Yankees took a 2-0 lead into the middle part of the ball game with a pair of 2-run homers in the fourth inning, put the Tribe on top. They added one more when Lofton went deep. 5-2 Indians. O'Neill a 2-out base hit and the 2-run Yankee first. Flied out to right his last time up. Both of those at bats against Charles Nagy. And it's a strike. That's not a strike.
Yes, you can read lips. He says that is not a strike. Felt that this pitch was low.
Well, I got news for him. It was a strike because the umpire called it a strike.
Maybe you ought to go down and tell him that.
No, thank you. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Breaking ball away. The Yankees offensively are 7th in the league in batting. They came in with a .266 team average. They're number 6 in runs and number 6 in home runs.
But they just haven't been consistent offensively. And, you know, Joe Torre a little upset. And these guys get paid to drive in runs and do the things they do. Now is the time they need it, and they have a couple of the pitchers down. That's what they have not been doing. They seem to do the little things well.
A chopper that's going to trickle foul. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Look at that Indians bullpen you talked about. Before those guys were not with the Indians at the start of this season. We're just into late June.
Rodriguez, Westbrook, Smith,
and John Rocker.
That's right.
Risky was sent back to Buffalo earlier today as Cordero was activated by the Tribe. 2-2 the count. Fouled away as he went after the fastball. It remains 2-2. The Indians trying to even this series and the season series with New York at 4-4. Set up the possibility of winning 2 out of 3 in Yankee Stadium. Tomorrow afternoon, Tribe Time, brought to you by Easter Chicago Pizza at 12:30. The play-by-play at 1. CC Sabathia and Mike Musina. Low. It's a full count. 3-2. See if they start Posada at first.
No, I don't think they will in this situation. Posada not a base stealer. There's a chance of a strike him out, throw him out. They're down 3 runs. Not a good percentage, I don't think, for Joe Torre to start Posada. This to me would not be a good time to start your run.
38-year-old Rich Rodriguez in relief of Charles Nagy. And it's chopped foul again. So the count remains full at 3-2 as the battle continues between Rodriguez and O'Neill. And Posada was not running.
Well, I think the only way you're going to start him here is if you know the guy's going to put the ball in play. You already have an out in the inning. You can't afford to have the strike him out, throw him out double play. And plus, you're down 3 runs. You've got to get that next guy. You got to get this guy on base to get that tying run to the plate.
Indians leading 5-2 as the Yankees bat in the bottom half of inning number 6 in New York. Two on, 1 out. As Rodriguez loses that battle. And Charlie Manuel is going to head back to the mound. The Yankees will get the tying run to the plate as Rodriguez comes on to face the lefty and gives up the walk. So with the right-hander Shane Spencer coming up, followed by Scott Brocious and then Alfonso Soriano. Charlie's going to go to the mound and go to a right-hander, trying to hold it right here at 5-2. Stay with us. Back after this.
Well, Tribe fans, if you want a great deal on central air conditioning for your home, then check your mailbox this week for a special offer from your local Bryant dealer, or call 888-999-BRYANT for a dealer nearest you. With Bryant, staying cool is a luxury you can afford.
Spencer will bat against Smith, coming on for the Indians.
Appearing for the 4th time, his 2nd stint with the Indians. 242 batting average, and the big guy is a sidewinder, a lot like Steve Reed used to throw the ball.
Recalled on June the 23rd. Added to the roster after the trade that sent Carsey and Reed to Atlanta and brought John Rocker to the Indians bullpen. But 2 on for New York. Tying run at the plate. First pitch is in there for a strike. Matter of fact, he made his major league debut against the Yankees back on May the 26th. Just low, 1-1. Roy Smith had a terrific spring for the Indians. There was just no place for him on the major league roster. In the dirt, the play by Einar Diaz. It's 2-1.
Well, one thing Roy Smith will have to do up at the big league level, he put up some very good numbers in AAA. I think the hitters at AAA are a little more aggressive. He's going to have to, with his strike zone or with the zone that he pitches in, is shrink it down and make a little bit, you know, from about a 3-foot wide. Well, I don't want to say strike zone, but cut it down, you know, with that plate being 17 inches, and make some more quality pitches to get hitters to swing at some of his pitches.
And that is sliced toward right field. Gonzalez is there. The runners will hold, 2 down. Spencer flies out to right, and the attention kids ages 6 to 18 write an essay of 100 words or less stating why you should be chosen to take your family to an Indians game, and that'll be for your chance to win 4 tickets to the August 4th game against Seattle. 5 winners from 5 age groups. Deadline for entries is the end of the month, June 30th. It's coming right up. Mail your entries to Alltel. Attention right for a night. 17500 Rockside Road in Bedford, Ohio, 44146. Two outs now. Smith will face Scott Brocious. Yankee runners at first and second. The walk, by the way, by Rodriguez, the only one Indians pitchers have given up tonight. Charlie stayed away from the base on balls. Yanks do have 8 hits, all singles. Indians signed Smith as a minor league free agent in December of last year. And a little looper into right base. No! Speared by Alomar. He climbed the ladder and reeled it in. The Yankees are retired. Terrific play by Robbie Alomar. Takes a base hit, maybe a run away from the Yanks as he goes high in the air to spear out number 3. Another ho-hum night for Robbie Alomar. It's a great defensive play to end the Yankee threat. Hit a 2-run homer to give the Indians the lead. And Vizquel tries to bunt. It's foul. Omar will lead off the top of the order here in the 7th inning. Vizquel, Burks, and Roberto Alomar. The Indians using the long ball for all 5 runs tonight. And for a change, Rick, they did their scoring with less than 2 outs. Vizquel flips that one out of play, and it's no balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the Yankees took a page out of the Indians book back in the 1st. That's when they scored their 2 runs with 2 outs. Did a lot of their scoring last night with 2 outs.
Hernandez and Nagy are the pitchers of record. We've reached the top of the 7th inning tonight in Yankee Stadium. Vizquel is gone. That's 4 strikeouts already for Mendoza. Time to take a look at our Wendy's trivia question. Actually, we go back to the game that was eventually rained out because we didn't ever answer this question. The only pitcher in Indians history with 3 consecutive 300+ inning seasons.
Well, that's not fair. We forgot it already.
Did we know it then?
I don't think so. We were going to have to take a guess.
Burks holds back. They appeal, and it's ball 1.
See how crafty they are?
Yeah,
Mike is.
Sneaky.
He was saying, hey, Doug, let's go. They forgot about it. Let's bring it back on them because we never gave the answer the first time.
Either that or they forgot to come up with a new question tonight and had to go back and recycle one. Fly ball into right field. Coming on is O'Neill. And there are 2 quick outs in the Indians' half of inning number 7. Roberto Alomar will come to the plate 1 for 2. Hit a 2-run homer to give the Indians the lead back in that 4-run 5th inning. And then just made a terrific leaping catch at second base to keep it 5-2. Ball 1. Breaking ball and a good one for a strike. 1-1. That's low, ball 2. Well, Robbie's had terrific luck against Ramiro Mendoza. He's 8 for 14 with a home run. And I'm sure Mendoza knows that.
Yes, he does. You can bet Mendoza knows that. But Robbie's been patient. He's going to make him get that sinker up.
And he misses again, ball 4. That's 5 walks by Yankee pitchers tonight. It will give Gonzalez a chance to swing the bat. He almost got it out of here his last time up as he took Spencer to the wall and left. Gonzalez has struck out, flied to right, and flied out to deep left. Gonzalez was the first batter that Mendoza faced when he came on back in the 5th inning.
Now, right now, Stottlemyre and Torre are telling Martinez to go out and just bide some time. There's 2 outs here. It gives a left-hander a chance to get up. Thome is the on-deck hitter.
It looks like Randy Choate out there in the bullpen.
Got great eyes. Because you're looking in that little cut-in out around the 399 sign. Are they that good?
He misses with a breaking ball. Well, I could tell it wasn't Stanton.
And that's the only 2 they have out there.
That's correct. It's a process of elimination.
Very
Randy
good.
Choate. See, he drops down. 1 ball, no strikes. Checked his swing on a pitch down and in. And they're going to say he went around. Mike Fichter, he'll be behind the plate tomorrow afternoon as the 2 teams play for the final time in the regular season. The Indians have used Charles Nagy, Rich Rodriguez, and Roy Smith. The 1-1 pitch, sliced foul. The 1-2. Thome is on deck. The Tribe leading by 3 here in the 7th, trying to even the series and post their 45th win of the season. Stay at least a half game ahead of the Twins, so at last check we're winning against Chicago. Breaking ball, pop foul.
Still are 2-1
in the 5th inning in the Metrodome. They've been home for a long time, haven't they?
Well, it seems like it after they left Cleveland. I mean, that was just a little pit stop.
way outside for ball 2. We've seen pitchers try to do to Gonzalez if they get ahead of him, throwing that slider or breaking pitch away, get him to chase.
The slower, the better when you can throw it away, and they try and bust him in. I guess that's a pattern to any hitter. Bust him in, break its stuff away.
Pitching high and tight, low and away.
They just seem to make more mistakes when Juan's up there.
2-2 pitch, breaking ball, he laid off. Full count.
You know, for a number 4 hitter and for a big guy, he can really, with 2 strikes and runners in scoring position, he finds a way to put the ball in play. Unlike, let's say, Jim Thome will swing and miss at more pitches. That's why Jim doesn't drive in the runs like a Gonzalez is capable of doing.
Juan has 19 more runs batted in than Thome. Runner goes, ball 4. Second consecutive walk with 2 outs.
Well, and Joe Torre, that's why he sent Martinez in. He didn't want to get to Thome. He's going to bring the left-hander in to face him.
So Torre makes the call to the bullpen. We'll step out and come back with more after this on Fox Sports Net. From the Bronx, Indians baseball here on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Wendy's, home of the classic single, double, and triple, the great home run of taste, and by Heineken. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Randy Choate comes on, pitcher number 3 for Joe Torre's Yankees today. And they're down by 3. He'll be coming on to face Jim Thome.
Well, Randy Choate has not allowed any of his 10 inherited runners to score this year. He is making his 17th appearance. A record of 2-1, an ERA of 3.72. The opposition batting just 138.
And the Yankees, with runners at first and second, will not put the full shift on against Jim Thome, who has faced Choate once this year and struck out. Jim struck out his last time up against Mendoza, who goes 2 1/3 innings, gives up 1 hit.
We have a pinch runner in for Gonzalez. That's Holbert Cabrera running for him at first base.
Changes being made. Bowringer starts to warm up for New York as Choate misses with a breaking ball. There's Holbert, who will take over for Gonzalez. Juan and Roberto Alomar walked with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. And Thome trying to make him pay for the 2 walks given up by Mendoza. Gets the call. It's 1-1. 5-2 Indians lead as they bat in the top of the 7th. Two on, 2 out. Travis Fryman to follow. Runners go. Throw to second. Cabrera is out. And the Indians tried to double steal and they come up short. Caught stealing for the 2nd time tonight. Cabrera is thrown out at second. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th in Yankee Stadium. It's a 5-2 ball game. Indians attempting the double steal. Let's take a look at it in sync. It didn't work out.
When you watch Robbie, he takes off. Cabrera has to wait just a half a step, and it's a heads-up play by Posada to go the back way and get Cabrera. It ends the inning, and they had to work that on their own because Robbie will steal third at any time. He could have walked to third, but that runner at second or at first has just got to make sure that he takes off. Heads-up play by Posada.
First pitch is the ball to Soriano. Smith coming on to get the final 2 outs in the 6th inning. Starts the 7th. Westbrook is up in the bullpen. And I believe Rincon is a solid single into left center field. Lofton up with it. Soriano is at first to get the Yankees started in the 7th. Here comes New York again. 9 base hits, all singles for the Yankees.
Pitch it comes back over the plate by Roy Smith, and Soriano hits a liner. See, they were playing him the other way. So the Yankees another start to this inning.
Well, they had 2 runners on board in the 6th inning with 1 out. They get the leadoff man aboard in the bottom of the 7th for Chuck Knobloch. Knobloch opened up the 5th inning with a base hit. He's 1 for 3. He was erased on a double play. 40,346 on hand here in Yankee Stadium. Tomorrow a day game to wind up the road trip. The Yankees will continue this homestand. Tampa Bay comes in for 4. The Indians head home for their own 4-game series against Kansas City Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And there are tickets remaining for the game on Monday. That's a strike. So there are 2 pitchers up in the Indians pen, Westbrook and Rincon. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Indians leading by 3. Yankees have the leadoff man board. Fouled away. 0-2 now. Boston has come back against Tampa in the 8th inning. That's a 6-5 ball game now. Tampa Bay leading.
What do you think the chances of Tampa holding on there?
Not
Boston's
good.
done it to them time and time again.
Yes, they have. They had a 6-1 lead earlier in that ball game.
Yes, they did. It was 5-1. And they tied it up, and then they got their 6th.
Twins game is in the 6th inning now. Still 2-1 Minnesota. And there's a liner toward right. Base hit. Cabrera over. It's into the corner. Soriano around second on his way to third.
Fan touched it.
It's a ground rule double. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. And the Yankees now with a golden chance to jump right back in the ball game.
Well, the first extra base hit, and it comes on an 0-2 count for Roy Smith. He worked hard to get ahead of it, and then you'll see the mistake. It's a pitch down the middle. You cannot afford to do that at the big league level. And you'll see that little protect swing with 2 strikes. It's a 1-hopper. A fan touches it. So it's 2nd and 3rd now, and nobody out here in the 7th inning.
For Derek Jeter. And the Yankees are coming here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The next hitter, Bernie Williams, is a switch hitter. The Indians will keep the infield back. Try to stay away from the big inning. 10 hits now for New York. 9 singles and the Knobloch double. He's got 2 hits. Williams has 2 hits. Posada has 2 hits. The Yankees at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Lifted in the air to right field. Coming on hard is Cabrera. Soriano tags. He'll have to hold. 1 out.
Big out. Jeter a little aggressive. Normally he will make you work and take a couple of pitches. He wanted to try and put this ball in play, but it allows Cabrera to come in with the easy out. You can't afford to send the runners. Not deep enough. You see, he's going back, and then you go halfway because he was not going to get in.
And Charlie Manuel is heading back to the mound. 1 out, runners at 2nd and 3rd, and Williams coming up.
You gotta wonder if he's going to flip Williams over to the right side of the plate. Because I think he's hitting better from the left side.
Quite a bit better. And the call has been made. Smith will leave with 2 runners in scoring position. The Indians leading by 3. Stay with us. Back with more. We're back and continuing here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rincon, who gave up the big hit to New York last night, does come on to flip Bernie around. Williams batting .273, just one of his dozen home runs as a right-handed batter. So he will bat right-handed with 2 runners in scoring position.
Rincon gets a chance to come right back in here tonight to redeem himself after the long ball to Martinez, and that's who's on deck. If he can get Williams, there's 1 out here. Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, Bernie Williams, who's a better hitter from the right side, hit for more power at the plate than he did the left, but that is not so this year.
Let's answer the Wendy's trivia question about the Indians pitcher to pitch all those innings. Three consecutive 300-plus innings. You immediately think Bob Feller.
I don't know if you had the draft and you saw it on Drive Time. Matt picked Bob Feller, and I like Bill's pick. I think he picked Gaylord Perry.
There it is, Gaylord Perry, 72 to 74.
A lot of innings, boy. 300 in a season.
Now 200 in the season is considered a lot of innings
to some people.
So the battle is joined here in the 7th inning in Yankee Stadium. The Indians are leading 5-2. All of their runs coming on homers. 2-run homers by Diaz and Alomar. Solo homer by Lofton. 1 out, 2 on. And the first pitch to Williams, he swings and chops it foul. 0-1 the count. Over 40,000 in the house for the middle game of this series. And Boston did tie it up at home against Tampa. It's 6-6. White Sox, though, jumped ahead of the Twins 4-2 in the 6th inning in Minnesota. So Chicago is back on top in that battle. The 0-1 pitch. Low, 1-1. These are the kinds of games the Yankees have been playing on a consistent basis. Very tight ball games. Nagy, Rodriguez, Smith, and now Rincon for the Tribe. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2, 1-2. The announcement behind us, you may have heard in the background, Gonzalez leaving the game with some tightness in his right knee. That's the reason that Cabrera came on to pinch run for him, and there's a high strike.
Well, right there, by the time you see Diaz catch it, Bernie, as you can see, for a big guy, really goes down into a crouch as a hitter. And not too many guys can hit from the crouch, but this guy certainly can, and that's where you try and tie him up, is with something hard and inside around belt and the hands.
Bernie steps out, so Ricardo steps off. A single, a double, a fly ball to right. And the Yankees trying to jump right back in the ball game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Low, ball 2, and it gets behind Einar Diaz, but does not go very far away, and the runners have to hold. 2-2. I'm going to have to make a change in my scorecard and add more spots for pitchers before it's going. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the way this year has gone, that's why they carry this many out of the bullpen. I mean, they win the games from their bullpen. And I mean, you're going to match up from the 6th inning on.
That's what's happened tonight. Nagy got him into the 6th inning.
That's the strength of the team.
2-2 the count. Rincon shaking off at least one pitch there. And he's going to look in again. Go through the signs again. Series of signs with a runner at second base. They count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, you better with that runner at second base, because Knobloch can get out there and you never know if he's got the signs, and he may be tipping them to Williams. So you go out there, you change your signs around when a guy's been out there for a while and sees a number of pitches.
So they're discussing it right now.
Well, and I've always said a lot of times when you put down those signs and you want your pitch and this and that, a lot of times that pitcher will look for that fastball in a different location. He may be calling fastball away, breaking ball here. That's the only time you put a location down on a pitch, is when it's a fastball. You either want it in or you want it out. He may want to go back to that fastball where he tied him up into it, strike 2. Because Williams is a good low ball hitter. Try and run it up there and get it in.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Low. Full count, 3-2. Rincon is going to have to battle here against Williams. And that guy is coming up next. He homered off Rincon last night to win the ball game for New York. Bounced foul will do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Charlie trying, Rick, to get to the back part of his bullpen, get through this 7th inning.
That's true. That's what it takes for his setups then. And you look for Wickman and then Rocker. That's a tough out. This is the time where some saves really come into play. Is in the 7th inning.
Yep.
Not always the 9th inning.
Bases loaded with 1 out.
That's a pitch I think you wanted before that.
Well, last night it was Martinez against Rincon. And that turned out to be the game winner. That was a pinch hit, 2-run homer.
The first of Tino's career, as a matter of fact, as far as pinch hitting goes. And they're going to get out there, and you're not going to give him a pitch to use the small side of the field tonight.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, what I'm saying, give him a pitch that he can pull. I mean, anytime a reliever comes in, if a guy's going to have to beat you, he usually makes you beat him away. You know, take your base hit. Now, if he hits you out over 399 in left center field, then you better tip your cap because that guy hit a good pitch. But not a pitch that you're going to leave up in the strike zone that could speed his bat up, and it's a short porch to right for the left-handers.
The tying runs are on with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. And the Yankee fans are very much in it. Here in the home half of number 7, the pitch is a ball. Ball game on the line for the Indians and the Yankees. Ground ball, second base. Alomar knocks it down. He gets an out at first. The Yankees get a run.
But the key there, they get an out. Soriano comes in to score the 3rd run for the Yankees. And I think Robbie was going to go down there and maybe try and get the lead runner at second base. But when he could not field it cleanly, his only play was first base. He was going to go to one knee, pop up, and throw it. He just gets it over to Jim Thome. They get the second out. Martinez gets his 48th RBI, but they have the tying runs in scoring position now to face Posada. If they even go to pitch to this guy here in this situation, because you got the left-hander O'Neill on deck. And they may just go ahead and intentionally walk him.
You've got the tying runs in scoring position. That run, by the way, is charged to Smith. Diaz takes a look in the Indians dugout. And apparently they're going to pitch to him.
Well, I can tell you, they went out there to talk about it. They may not intentionally walk it, but he's not going to see a whole lot to hit, I would not think.
No, he's 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI.
This guy's having a much better year than O'Neill is.
There is John Rocker in the Indians bullpen. And the fans just realized.
No, I think they're upset at Diaz going to the mound.
That's true. The Yankees have scored a run to cut the lead to 2. And now the battle between Rincon and Posada. With 2 on and 2 out. Downstairs, ball 1. Yankees had the early 2-0 lead as they scored twice in the first inning, but the Indians came back with the long ball. A pair of 2-run homers in the 5th and a solo homer in the 6th. The The Yankees have answered here in the bottom of the 7th. Posada hitting .313 with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Posada, a .274 hitter from the right side of the plate, and only 73 at bats. Hitting .314 from the left side, so you don't mind him facing him this way. But you remember, you have first base open, the left-hander on deck.
Breaking ball and a beauty. It's 1-2. That was a good slider.
Well, you make a perfect pitch or you end up missing, and that's what Ricky does. He comes back and makes a perfect pitch. A slider, a backdoor slider at the knees. Posada gives up on it and just doesn't swing the bat. Now you have an opportunity with a 1-2 count to maybe get him to chase a pitch out of the strike zone.
A little bit high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two outs, 2 on. Rincon against Posada here in the bottom of the 7th inning in Yankee Stadium. In the dirt, full count, 3-2. So he did not get him to chase.
Nobody's still got 1 pitch left. You're going to probably see that slider down and away, and you're not going to give in to him a fastball here. He just showed him the fastball with 2 strikes.
Payoff pitch. Bases loaded again. He didn't give in. He walks his second batter. So it will be O'Neill to face Rincon.
Right fielder, O'Neill.
O'Neill singled to drive in a run in the first, flied to right and walked. 1 for 2 officially tonight.
See, the thing that happens now when you do pitch around that 1 hitter to get to your left-hander, you got to make some good pitches here early in the count. You don't want to fall behind.
Here comes Dick Cole. It has been a long inning for just 1 run scored. Grady Little and Charlie Manuel talking on the bench as Dick Cole goes out.
Now they just want to settle down Rincon. That's all. Maybe Ricky felt he made a couple of good pitches there in that at bat, and he's going to settle him down. Don't worry about it. He says, you're still in the ball game. You got to get this guy out. That's no problem. There it is.
Yeah, a couple of righties now loosening up for the Indians in the bullpen. Wickman and Westbrook.
Right, you can see why. Maybe by August that bullpen is going to be tired.
Well, that's true. Rincon and O'Neill. First pitch is a breaking ball popped up. Jim Thome in foul territory, has room, side retired. The Yankees leave the bases loaded. Rincon wins the battle with 1 pitch to O'Neill. We'll head to the 8th. Rincon walked 2. He got the out that he needed to finish off that 7th inning. And the Indians lead is 2 at 5-3. Jim Thome, who was at the plate when the Indians tried the double steal, will bat again against Choate. There is activity in the Yankee bullpen again. Thome, Fryman, and Lofton scheduled to bat in this inning.
I think he'll stay here right through Branyan, the left-hander. Joe Torre has that option.
Thome bounces it left side and through, so they put the shift on. They had the third baseman Brocious basically in the shortstop position, and he couldn't get back. So Thome handles that with a single to left.
Well, and that's a way to beat the shift right there. He was wait on that left-hander. Look at him, just a nice easy swing, an easy ground ball, and it goes as a single for Thome past Brocious at third.
Brings up Fryman with a man on. The Indians have the leadoff man aboard. 5-3 Indians. That's hit number 7 for the Tribe. In there for strike 1 to Fryman. Indians have 3 homers and a double. The Yankees have just 1 extra base hit, the double.
They've made the most of their hits tonight, that's for sure. The 2 2-run homers and then the solo shot by Lofton.
Fryman has walked, popped up to second, and been called out on strikes. Checks his swing. Count evens. It's 1-1. Fryman is facing Choate for the first time. Lofton is on deck, and then another lefty, Russell Branyan. And Bob Wickman continues to work in the Indians pen. You'd have to think he'll come out to pitch the 8th. There's strike 2. And we are closing in on the Ohio Sports Report. We'll get the complete wrap-up of what's going on around the state of Ohio and the world of sports once we are finished from Yankee Stadium. The 1-2 pitch. Fryman hit a little bouncer left side. A tough play. Barehand pickup by Brocious, and he got him at first. Good job by Martinez to stretch out and make the catch. Thome's at second, 1 out.
And that was really the only play that Scott Brocious had. You got to come in and try the barehand attempt, and what he did not do, he didn't try and rush it. He stays back on it nicely. Travis is running a good play to retire Fryman, and it moves that runner into scoring position. So an Indians with a chance to get that run back that the Yankees put on in the bottom half of the 7th.
Reestablish a 3-run difference going to the 8th inning. Lofton a home run to right his last time up. Kenny's 1 for 3. He's also popped up to third and grounded out to first. Martinez right at the edge of the grass at first, and Brocious is in on the grass at third. Lofton swings away and bounces it back to the mound. Choate thought about going to third, goes to first, and got him.
Boy, he almost made a mistake right there, even thinking about third base, unless you just field the ball cleanly. But he thought about it, and he just nipped Lofton at first base. Shouldn't even have looked at third base. You got to make sure you get an out in this inning. That ball he knocks down right then and there. You know you're not going to have a chance. But he had it cocked and loaded to go to third base, and goes over and just gets Lofton in time.
So now Russell Branyan.
That's how close. He's called that by about a half a step, not even. Yeah, you see Brocious realized, what are you doing?
Don't think about
throw
this
it to
over
me,
here.
Get the out. That was good right there.
Now Branyan has faced Choate 1 time and got a double. Thome's now at third. First pitch is a called strike. A breaking ball that catches the outside part of the plate.
At least the umpire thought
Yeah.
so. That looked like he couldn't have hit that with a boat oar.
Two-run lead for the Tribe, 5-3. Branyan swings and misses. 0-2. A leadoff single by Thome. He moved to second on a ground out and to third on a ground out. Diaz to follow. If Russell T can figure out a way to keep it going, and strike 3 called. So he's gone. So are the Indians. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Tribe up by 2. Bottom of the 8th in New York. The Indians leading 5-3. Bob Wickman is in the process of completing his warm-ups. He will come on and be the new Indians pitcher.
Pitcher number 5 for the Indians. Wickman, good numbers this year, 15 out of his 16 save opportunities. Opposition hitting just .210, making his 34th appearance. And I don't know what the umpire is talking to him about.
Well, something about his number of warm-up pitches. Charlie Manuel wants to go out and find out what Jeff Nelson is talking about.
Well, to tell you the truth, when they have to wait to start the inning, what difference does it make on how many warm-ups he takes?
You're right.
I mean, if that's exactly what he is discussing. Because why send your pitcher out there anyway? You can make him wait, send him out later. Charlie's looking at him and said, that ain't right. That's about the first time I've heard that all year. Whatever he's discussing.
Well, whatever it was about, that discussion is complete. Wickman will be facing Spencer, Brocious, and Soriano, all right-handed batters here in the 8th inning, trying to protect a 5-3 Indians lead in Yankee Stadium. The starters are still the pitcher of record in this ball game. And the first pitch is a strike. Wickman gets ahead of Spencer. We're in the bottom of the 8th in New York. Middle game of this series. 1-1 the count. We'll finish it off tomorrow, starting with Tribe time at 12:30, and then the Indians and the Yankees for the final time in the regular season in 2001. Pitching matchup, CC Sabathia and Mike Mussina. All the action right here. A matinee for you on Fox Sports Net. Spencer, big swing, and it's 1-2.
Runs a fastball inside to Spencer and gets it by him. So he really tied him up with those hands. He had to bring him in.
2-2 as he misses low and away. Bob was here with the Yankees in the mid-90s. Came up in 92. And stayed until he went to Milwaukee in 96. Powering fly ball to center field. Kenny Lofton is there for 1 out. Let's take a look at our winning Ohio lottery numbers for tonight. The pick 3 is 5-4-8. The pick 4 is 2-7-3-0. The Buckeye 5-1-3-6-18 and 33. Your luck could change in an instant. An Ohio lottery instant game. Play one today. Here's Brocious, 1 for 3. Last time up, he hit a ball headed for right. But climbing the ladder to make the play on the little looper was Roberto Alomar.
What kind of looper was that?
It was a little looper. Fly ball well hit to deep right. Back is Cabrera at the warning track, stays with it. 2 down. Let's go back and revisit our storylines for tonight. Nagy pitched pretty well. Second time around against the Yankees. A chance to beat them twice this year. In the battle of the bullpens, that's even so far as well. Rocker, we don't know because we haven't seen him. We'll see what happens in the ninth.
I think you're going to see him next inning. He's going to get up and start milling around, while if Wickman can get the 3rd out here.
Soriano, a base hit, a run scored in that long but not really productive 7th inning for the Yankees. They loaded the bases a couple of times. Tino Martinez got a ground ball to second that drove in the run after the inning started with a single and a double. The Indians came away just allowing 1 run. Two balls, no strikes. You look at Wickman back in 93 for the Yankees. He appeared in 41 games, had 4 saves, but he also started 19 games that year.
He was a terrific setup man here when he was in New York. And then when he went to Milwaukee, they needed a closer, and he filled that role and did a good job with the Brewers.
Well, you look at 94, 53 games, 95, 63 games, and in 96, until he was traded, he appeared in 58 games and then 12 more games with Milwaukee. 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, and the funny thing, he came over last year and ended up taking over Steve Carsey's role as a closer. And it looks like the same thing happened to him this year when they got Rocker. Wickman's going to go in to be a setup man, although Charlie did say that he's going to get his opportunities to save some games.
Sliced foul. 2-1 the count. He had 14 saves a year ago in 26 games for the Indians and had 15 saves in 16 opportunities this year for the Tribes. Swing and a miss, and the count evens. It's 2-2. Spencer with a fly ball to center. Brocious, the fly ball to the warning track and right for the first 2 outs in this inning. The Indians protecting a 5-3 lead. Diaz, Vizquel, and Burks will bat in the bottom, or excuse me, the top of the 9th inning. We're in the bottom of the 8th, and the 2-2 pitch. Jammed him. He rolls it to Fryman at third. The long throw is in time, and the inning is over. So it's a 1-2-3-8. Wickman does his job. The Indians lead by 2. We are back and ready for the top half of the 9th tonight in New York. I'm John Sanders along with Rick Manning. Glad you could join us here. Stick around because the Ohio Sports Report will be coming up once we are finished, but we've got this 9th inning to go. Here's Brian Boehringer out of the bullpen.
And Boehringer is appearing for the 21st time. 0-1 and a 3.31 earned run average. He's coming on to face Diaz, Vizquel, and Burks.
And John Rocker is warming up in the Indians bullpen.
Remember when Boehringer was in Cleveland, he had to leave the game after a couple innings of relief because he had a little groin problem and he missed a few games after that appearance.
Diaz pops this one up. Shallow center field. Going out is Soriano making the call and the catch. Quickly 1 out here in the Indians half of number 9. The Ohio Sports Report will be coming up just as soon as we are finished tonight. 30 minutes of home team news, extended regional highlights and interviews. And coming up tonight on the Ohio Sports Report, Rick and I will be back to break down tonight's game. Complete Indians coverage and the Cavs draft preview, Rockers highlights. All of that coming up when we are finished tonight. A strike to Omar. Struck out his last time up. O has 2 hits and 4 at bats and is 4 for 9 in the series now. Breaking ball misses outside. Boehringer had been pitching pretty well for New York.
Yes, he has. I mean, he's a valuable man coming out of that bullpen for him if he can stay healthy. He's got good stuff.
1-1 on Vizquel. Ellis Burks to follow. And when it's slapped foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. All 5 of the Indians' runs tonight coming on home runs. Diaz had a 2-run homer that tied the game at 2. Alomar a 2-run homer gave him the lead, and then Lofton had a solo home run. 2-2 the count. Vizquel out on strikes for the 2nd straight time. And there are 2 down in the 9th inning. Again, a reminder, tomorrow afternoon, our next game, the final meeting of the regular season between these 2 teams. Tribe Time will kick it off at 12:30. Brought to you by East of Chicago Pizza. And then the Indians and the Yankees at 1. Could be a battle for not only this series, but for the season series if the Indians can get out of here with a win tonight. Here's Burks, doubled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4. Ball 1 is downstairs. It was interesting. After that inning was over, the conversation continued between Wickman and the home plate umpire.
Yeah, we're going to have to check it out. I don't know exactly what they were talking about before he started that inning.
Ball 2 is low, and there is John Rocker.
You know, back in the at-bat of Ellis Burks in the 5th inning, ended up being a big at-bat because he hit a ball on the nose after Diaz's 2-run homer. Vizquel got the single, and he had a bullet right at Soriano. Should have been a double play ball. A little bit blocked by the umpire. He didn't field it cleanly. He reached first base, and then the Alomar home run came behind it.
That was a huge play. The Indians took advantage of that when Robbie crashed the home run off the facing of the upper deck. 2-1 pitch to Ellis Burks, and he fouls it off, so the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And they wait while the ball rolls back down the screen. Bouncer to third, fielded on one big hop by Brocious. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. John Rocker will make his appearance for the Indians as they go for the win. Bottom of the 9th inning, John Rocker is on, and New York knows it.
Just wait for that run, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Well, for Rocker, the 2nd time he will appear in an Indians game. The first one coming on Sunday against the Kansas City Royals, getting his first save. He had a couple of strikeouts on just 11 pitches. So he's coming on to face the top of the lineup. It's Knobloch, Jeter, and Williams. Now the umpire's telling him, he's telling him one more pitch.
Well, let's go back to Rocker's first appearance with the Indians after the trade. And that was save number 1 for John Rocker. It'll be Knobloch, Jeter, and Williams to face Rocker.
Well, we know one thing for sure. This is the last time he's got to come to New York, at least in regular season.
That's true.
That's official after tomorrow.
That is correct.
They just left here when he was with Atlanta
right.
this weekend.
They were just here. Knobloch, a double and a single his last 2 times up, and he takes strike 1. 0 for 3 in his career against Rocker. Knobloch's double, the only extra base hit the Yankees have tonight. They have 10 hits, 9 singles, and his double. The Indians leading 5-3. It's the bottom of the 9th in New York. Inside corner, strike 2.
Well, you can see John Rocker in his career in interleague play is 25 games, 1-0 record. Look at that ERA, under 1, and he has 8 saves. Career against the American League, and you know they haven't had an opportunity to see him except in the American League East.
0-2 the count. Breaking ball and a beauty. He's gone.
Well, he didn't mess around. A couple of fastballs. Knobloch thinking that the second one was inside. He starts him off with a just get me over fastball. Then he runs one inside on him and then drops a hook. And Knobloch doesn't pull the trigger. 3 pitches to strikeout.
Now Derek Jeter, 1 for 4 with a run scored. He scored one of those 2 first inning runs, both coming on 2 out base hits, one by Posada, the other by O'Neill. Martinez has the other RBI on a ground out to second base.
That's one thing, you don't see many left-handed closers, especially power closers.
That's
like
right.
Rocker. He can also get right-handers out because he's got that good curveball as he just threw to Knobloch. He also has a changeup.
And he throws in the breaking ball. It's strike 1 as he fouls it off.
I think at times, from what we've seen in the past, watching some Braves games, he can have a period where he can get a little wild. But when he's locked in and throwing strikes, this guy's tough to hit.
Well, I'll tell you what, You get the return of Paul Shuey here before too long, and you've got some stuff at the back end of that bullpen.
You certainly do. There's no question about it. And then what this guy does, he gives you your third left-hander out of there, and that's why Charlie's matching up from the 5th and 6th innings.
0-1 the count. Jeter swings and misses at another breaking ball. 0-2. The Indians trying to even this series. We're in the bottom of the 9th. 1 out, bases empty. Stayed with a breaking ball. All 3 pitches have been breaking balls, and that is his first ball. Well, Boston came back to beat Tampa 7-6.
Boy, there's a surprise.
Toronto beat Baltimore 3-1. Kansas City's whipping Detroit 12-5. And 6-3 in the 7th. The White Sox are still leading the Twins in Minnesota.
Well, if the Indians hold on, they move it back up to a game and a half.
If it stays that way at the Metrodome, and if they can get 2 more outs. 1-2 the count. Diaz sneaks inside. The pitch is low for a ball. It's 2-2. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Ernie Williams to follow. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch bounced it. Full count, 3-2. So he jumped ahead on a couple of breaking balls. 0-2. Now it's 3-2. Ninth inning in New York. Got him. Second called strikeout. Derek Jeter will argue, but there are 2 down.
Well, he's explaining it to Jeter. Second time tonight he's argued because Charlie Nagy got him back in the 3rd inning. On the 3-2 count, he obviously feels this ball is down. And there have not been many called down there this year, but Jeter twice. And from that side angle, it doesn't look as low as it does from the front. But Jeter's complaining because that was bringing the tying run to the plate.
Right. That was a huge pitch.
Yes, it was. It was a big pitch for both sides.
Rocker gets his 2nd strikeout of the inning. Now facing Bernie Williams. Huh?
Happy birthday. It's happened twice tonight on that low strike.
Low and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
See, he's arguing over there now, saying that that's the same pitch or it's the same height. They're hearing complaints from the dugout. I'll tell you what, keep your mask on and you don't pay attention.
That's right.
You know, you don't pay attention. You do not listen. You've made the call. You got to live with it.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, bases empty.
It's like somebody yelling at you from the stands. You just don't ignore it. Don't let them know you hear them.
You never heard that, did you?
Never. Never once.
Checked his swing. It's ball 2.
Well, I got some of my best lines.
They were donated to you.
Yes, they were. They were thrown right at me. They happened to stick.
He liked it, used it later.
Absolutely.
2-0. Derek is still very unhappy.
Well, not too often neither do you come into this ballpark and you get calls away from the Yankees. Let me tell you that.
2-0 here. With Tino Martinez on deck. Line foul. Rocker trying to get his 2nd consecutive save with the Indians since coming over from Atlanta. Mark Shapiro on the bus coming out. He has had to field a lot of questions on this road trip, hasn't he?
Well, he certainly has. It's getting him ready. You know?
That's right.
This will be he'll be the GM starting in November.
Fly ball right field. Coming on is Cabrera. Coming on, and he puts it away. So Rocker again with 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to right. Gets the save, and the Indians even the series. They take the game by a final of 5-3. Boy, talk about matching up, Rick. They did it all night long, and the bullpen helps seal the win.
Well, we're going to see that all year long when it comes to matchup from the bullpen, because you have the pitchers. So they do hang on. The big inning was the 7th when Rincon got out, and they get the save from Rocker. That's save number 2. So the Indians even the series, and Charlie Nagy's second win.
Nagy's wins this year against the Yankees. The Indians used the long ball. They hit 2 2-run homers and a solo homer as they beat the Yankees 5-3. The rubber game of the season series is coming up tomorrow. That'll be our next game. We'll start with prime time at 12:30. Have the play-by-play at 1. Stay tuned now as we send you to the Ohio Sports Report for an in-depth look at tonight's game and the rest of the news around Ohio. For Rick Manning, I'm John Sanders. Thanks for watching from Yankee Stadium tonight. We take you now to the Ohio Sports Report.